Electric Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello. Boy, do we have a lot to get to today. Happy April. We've arrived. I want to recap that Tigers game from last night. A disaster of a loss is probably an overstatement for it being a March game and us not even being into April yet, although I do think it ended on April 1st here on the East Coast. I do want to recap that in a little bit. I want to go over this Red Wings stretch that they went on in March because Kirst, I don't think, is completely out of the picture. They're on the verge of holding an awful record. Not a record. A record's not the right word to use, but they're on the verge of holding the worst streak in the NHL when it comes to this certain thing. That's coming up here in a little bit. It's also Big Win Wednesday. Today, we're giving away something brand new. We're giving away a hobby box for our friends over at Curveball. Look at this, man. This is like I don't know the exact price on what it's supposed to be, but I think it's upwards of $150. Whoa! We're giving one of these away. 2026 Series 1 box of baseball cards, Topps 75. So I'm excited to do that for all the baseball card lovers out there. We're going to do that at about 10:15, giving away this whole hobby box. And then we're going to do a miniature one and open up some cards during that segment as well. So really excited about today's show. No, that is not an April Fool's prank. I want to say this before we jump into anything serious. April Fools. We do this on every holiday. I don't know if I'd consider April Fool's Day necessarily a holiday, but we do overrated, underrated, properly rated holiday. I think there's two different versions of this day. The in-person version, which is fun, right? You pranking your friends, office pranks, kids love it. I love that part of it. Underrated. We should have an April Fool's Day 3 times a year. Very fun stuff. The April Fools that you'd see online, this is by far the worst day of the year to be online. I hate it because I get got 3 to 4 times on this day a year. I will inevitably get pranked by something by the end of the day online, and I'll get infuriated, and I'll probably just hop off social media for the rest of the day because it's infuriating what percent of my posts end up just being fake news the rest of the day. That's the part of April Fool's Day I hate, the online aspect of it. In person, practical jokes, love it. That part's great. Prank people all you want. I'm all down for pranking people. I don't think there's many things that are more enjoyable than scaring the absolute bejesus out of somebody. When I was a kid, I used to scare my brother so frequently and so often and so intense that one time in the morning, I scared him so bad with a mask on, he fell down and started shaking, and I thought he was having a heart attack, only to find out he was pranking me. It was the greatest prank ever because it was like a double prank. I love practical jokes. What I can't stand is the online fake news because it's designed to get you, and I just can't stand it.
It used to be much worse, though. Like, we live in an era right now where you go on Twitter, and there already is fake news and fake tweets and just a bunch of fake stuff literally every day. It doesn't have to be April Fool's Day.
That's true.
So, I mean,
it's
like
worse
the other day, you said something on the show that was fake. Like, it just happens, you know? Like, you get this stuff on Twitter all the time. So, it's not as bad as it used to be. But I'll just go a step further. If we're going to consider April Fool's a quote-unquote holiday, it's the worst holiday of the year.
No, come on. You like the in-person pranks.
Because I mean, you know me. I'm probably the most trolling person there is. I love to troll and goof off and make jokes and prank. It's like I just love to do it. There doesn't need to be a specific day for it. I just do it every day. You know? And then it becomes a thing where it's like you can't take anybody seriously on April Fool's Day.
That's
but
true.
Then some people are like, come on, you think I'm actually doing April Fool's Day? But then you have to second guess it. Like, wait, are they really buying into it right now and like double pranking me?
Yeah.
It's too much mind games going on April Fool's Day, so I just don't like it.
I'm all for the in-person part. Again, it's the scrolling on Instagram and like 9 of the 10 posts I see are just completely made up stuff. That I believe in for like 1 second, and then I'm like, okay, time to move on, and then it's just another one of the. It's just that all day, over and over again. You know what? I promise you, if you follow the Mitt on social media, we're not doing any of that. It's garbage.
Oh,
today.
You should though.
No, we're not doing it.
What if he's April Foolsing everyone right now?
I'm not. I promise you, stop it. I am not April Fool's pranking anybody. We will not be posting any fake garbage on our social medias today. It's ridiculous when people do it, especially when news outlets do it.
I was just about to say, if any like real news breaks on this day, it's just super unfortunate.
Yeah, why would I believe them?
Right, exactly.
No April Fool's prank. We are giving away this hobby box here in a little bit. I'm excited about that. Guess what? Let's just jump right into this. I do have an April Fool's segment planned for us. You texted this to me yesterday, so do you want to explain this? Because I thought this was a really good idea.
Yeah, I just thought it would be fun because, you know, to get into the spirit of April Fool's Day at least, like if we did April Fool's Day Detroit Sports Edition and said, if you could take one thing that's going on with any team, whether that's current, whether it's a grand scheme thing, however you want to go about doing this, it's very wide open. And you could treat it as if it was an April Fool's joke. Like, if this was just a joke, you could pick one thing to be a joke and then to come out and be like, gotcha, we got everybody, it was just an April Fool's joke. Which would you wish that to be? There's a lot of different ways you could go here.
Do you want me to start things off?
Of course.
April Fool's, the month of March actually didn't happen. The Red Wings didn't choke a playoff spot for the 3rd consecutive year. We're going to redo that whole thing. They're still in playoff position. You know they held a playoff spot for 104 consecutive days leading up to March. Or I guess in the middle of March as well. And then they just, once again, for the 3rd year in a row, completely blow it this time of year, including a loss yesterday where it was 3-0 by the time the end of the first period rolled around. Just never really in it. And it feels like that's kind of been the story of March here. A complete letdown for a team that finally got aggressive at the trade deadline and traded away a first-round pick. This was the year it was supposed to be over. This is the year the drought was supposed to end. I got a crazy – I don't want to reveal it too soon because I already teased it up and now I'm doing it a second time, so I guess I'll just stop talking. Yeah, April Fool's, March didn't count. The Red Wings are still in playoff position. That'd be my number 1 pick.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. I mean, and this is an April Fool's joke that gets repeated. You know, they do this one every year.
Right.
It's getting
like
old.
A yearly
it's
tradition.
like, okay, like you can do the same April Fool's joke like maybe 2 years in a row. When you do it 3-4 times in a row, then it's like, okay, like this really isn't a prank anymore.
Yeah, this is just
real
predictable.
Life. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I will go, I mean, I wish I could just simply say like last night's Tigers game. that was a prank. That would be nice.
Yeah, they didn't actually blow a lead. They didn't blow a 5-1 lead, guys. April Fools. The game's still going.
They actually scored runs outside of just one single inning in every game. They didn't go hitless the entire game outside of the third inning.
April Fools. Kenley Jansen didn't just telepath a cutter down the middle for someone to tee off, basically. I mean, good God, man. That was
ridiculous.
For 5 games in, that's about as bad as a blown lead as you can possibly have still in the month of March. That was awful last night. I stayed up for the whole thing, and I couldn't believe it by the end.
I did not. I fell asleep. And I thought I comfortably fell asleep too.
Nope.
Like I figured I was good to go. I'll wake up, we'll have a dub, and I'm unfortunate. I mean, I'm happy I didn't see it, I guess, but
no, they brought in Will Vest in the 8th inning, and when they do that, the game's typically over. This guy absolutely thrived in the 9th inning of last season. ERA less than 2, ERA damn near 5 last year when he came in the 8th inning. Like I don't understand the reasoning behind that of why he's so good in the 9th and so poor in the 8th inning, but I can't. I wonder what his reaction was when they signed Kenley Jansen this offseason, and it was pretty obvious that Kenley Jansen was going to get the bulk majority of the save opportunities early on in the year. It's like, oh, great, I'm playing in the 8th inning? There go my numbers for the year. Well, my chances of a big contract.
Right. Can we get some Kyle Finnegan, man?
He hasn't pitched this year, has he?
No. It's tough. Okay, I have a really good April Fool's one.
Okay.
I think this is the best one. Because this one has the most long-term implications. You have the short-term things where maybe some guys that are dealing with injuries could be like, oh, April Fools, I'm not actually injured. That'd be great. But I think this one matters the most to the entire city.
Mm-hmm.
Tarek Skubal, Scott Boras, Scott Harris, Chris Ilitch, all of them. They are pulling a ginormous prank. They all come out, April Fools, everybody. We actually all like each other, and we actually do want to pay Tarek Skubal. And Tarek Skubal actually does want to stay in Detroit. And he signs a 10-year extension with the Tigers and doesn't go to the open market.
I have the exact same one written down. Said this whole Tarek Skubal offseason, April Fools, he's been signed this whole time. 10-year extension. Yeah. He's a Tiger for life.
Like
that's great.
That's the best one. That's the one where it has the most, because a lot of this other stuff is short term. Last night's Tigers game, even the Red Wings thing. Like, sure, they're not going to make any real noise in the playoffs, even if they snuck in. Tarek Skubal's actually signing with the Tigers. Like that changes literally everything for a long time.
Forever.
So yeah, that'd be my number one answer.
That's probably the right answer. We'll do one more and I'll save the rest for later, and then we'll get into. Well, actually, no, we can just keep rolling on this thing. April Fools. This hasn't been Kerry Carpenter for the first 5 games. We've got him locked in a freezer. He's coming out of it. This was a clone. This hasn't actually been Kerry Carpenter. That guy that you've seen strike out. What was it, 10 times in the first 4 games? Yeah, it's just a rando. It looks like Kerry Carpenter mask on. Actually him.
I thought about this one. This was kind of how it inspired a little bit, just based off of when I was thinking about things that could be jokes. This was one of the very first things that popped into my head, just because it's just been terrible the way that he started off the year. And hey, at least AJ Hinch moved him down in the lineup yesterday.
Thank God.
And
we were one game away from him being in the leadoff spot from really going at AJ Hinch today. That would have been a problem.
Which is it's way too early in the season to really be going at anyone, especially the manager of the team. But yeah, that one's pretty difficult. I zoomed this one in to college basketball. I know we're doing Detroit Sports Edition, but I just had to throw this one in there because It makes too much sense. Tom Izzo, April Fools, I'm actually going to use the transfer portal.
Okay.
I actually like the transfer portal, and I'm going to bring in impactful players that aren't just freshmen to try to get back to the Final Four. Because that one would be very impactful, of course, and it would be it'd be a really good prank because the guy hates the transfer portal.
That's a good one, Kyle. 989-837-6125. Couple more when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. I'd also like to hear, if you have any great April Fool's stories or pranks that you've been a part of, please let us know because I'm all down to hear that. I love the practical jokes, mostly scaring people. If you've got stories about you scaring someone, please text it in. I love it. Nothing brings me more joy than scaring people. Is
scaring someone a prank?
I don't know, but I love it. I there's nothing that gets me going more than just scaring someone. You know what the best ones are? Where you're just in the middle of a conversation with them, face to face, and you scream for no reason. And they get caught off guard. They're like, what?
That's not an April Fool's joke.
I don't even care. It's so funny to me.
April Fools, I just scared you.
I love it. There's nothing that gets my blood flowing a little bit like scaring someone like that. It's so funny. 989-837-6125. Quick shout out to Iron Stack Technology. You know we talk about the game plan all the time on this show, the execution of it. That's exactly how Iron Stack approaches IT. They help businesses stay secure, stay efficient, and ready for what's next so you can focus on your mission instead of your technology. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can find them online at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on one. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
I really wish last night's Tigers game was an April Fool's prank. I stayed up for the whole thing. I really couldn't believe the way that they blew it. They score all these runs early on. They go up 5-1. Casey Mize was awesome, by the way. 15 swing and miss pitches. It's not like he's been a massive swing and miss guy the last couple of years. Even last year when he was an all-star, that wasn't really why he was an all-star. The splitter that got him drafted 1.01 was in full effect last night. A lot of movement on the pitches. I thought Casey Mize was unbelievable. 9 strikeouts, was one away from his career high. And he doesn't get to walk away with the win because the combination of Drew Anderson, Will Vest, and Kenley Jansen completely blow the game. And I saw a lot of people were frustrated with Drew Anderson. It's fair he got them in the jam in the first place, but there's not real expectation on Drew Anderson yet. Even though there was some real spring training hype going into the year, he was still mostly an unknown. Vest and Jansen, those are the guys that the Tigers pay to get out of jams. Those are the guys that the Detroit Tigers have in the bullpen to put in those situations where there's runners on and get out of it clean slate. neither of which could do so in the 8th inning. Vest was an absolute mess, as he usually is when he comes in the 8th inning. And then Kenley Jansen was just, hey, man, like I'm throwing cutters down the middle that aren't going to actually break, and I'm going to freeze and delay my delivery. Like, that was, if that's the norm, the Tigers are in for a really long season, because that bullpen, it was a problem last year. It was the one thing that we kind of looked at as like, oh, man, how are they going to survive this? And they ended up getting the most out of Melton. The Vest-Finnegan combo was really good at the end of the year. They bring in Jansen, and in theory, it's like, cool, they have these 3 awesome closers. Last night was like an enormous red flag of like, hey, are we going to go through this entire process again? That's not why they paid Kenley Jansen. I'll tell you what, if he keeps playing like that, he's going to play his way out of the Hall of Fame. Overreaction, sure.
Feels
5
like
games
one.
in, how can you, like, we're still going to overreact to every game because it's all we have so far. I wish it was an April Fool's prank. It was a disastrous final 2 innings. Inning and a half, really.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this yesterday. Would have been a fun goal to never go below 500 all year.
So much for that.
Dead.
Yeah, dead.
And, like, as bad as it is on the bullpen for blowing this game, and I do feel for Casey Mize, like, that's the one that was just like, man, that sucks.
He
Like,
was great.
he was. You know, Arizona felt like they were getting to him early, and then he really figured something out, like in the 2nd or 3rd inning, and then just rolled the rest of the way, and it felt really good. But when your offense doesn't get a single hit outside of 1 inning,
Yeah.
that feels like an issue. Like, 5 runs with a good pitching staff should be enough to win you a game, especially when you go up 5-0. So I'm not going to, like, complain about the offense extremely here. But in Game 1 against Arizona, you scored all your runs in 1 inning. In Game 2 against Arizona, you scored all your runs and had all your hits in 1 inning. Like, outside of Game 1, they've done all of their scoring in 1 inning in all of the games. Like, they do it in spurts. Now, when they do, it's 5 or 6 runs, so, like, we'll take it, obviously, but feels very, come and go. Like, the teams really operate as a whole. The entire lineup operates as a whole in these games so far. That's a little bit concerning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It felt like when they went up 5-0 that the approach at the plate just kind of changed a little bit. Like, that inning where they were just rolling in the 3rd, even Riley Green had that double where it's not like he was trying to pimp a ball 500 feet. He just, hey, let's make good contact. It wasn't a crazy uppercut swing, and he hit a double. It was great. And then after that, it was just a lot of bad at-bats for the most part for the Detroit Tigers. So, series loss, Skubal on the mound today. Hopefully they can bounce back and salvage one. I mean, if they get back from this road trip and go 3-3, right? That's what their record would be?
Correct.
Yeah. You're not gonna be all that upset about it with an off day and then Fowler's
Finally
on the
back at
mound
home
on Friday.
Yeah. I mean, we do have to remember how they started the year last year. Getting swept by the Dodgers to start the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that kind of stunk. You go 3-3. I mean, it's obviously, like you said, all we have is things to overreact to, but there definitely is reasons for concern in every department right now. But if you get back home 3-3, finally get to play at regular times at night, and today, obviously, they get to play at a regular time, which is nice, then hopefully you'll get some more wins going forward.
I mean, they're playing at noon in Arizona today?
Yeah, 12:40.
3-hour difference. Yeah. All right. You know what else I wish was in April? We wrote down our Detroit sports April Fools, like what is going on that we wish is an April Fool's prank. I wrote this one down for the Lions. April Fools, we've been waiting months to do this one for you. Not letting it go. Mike McDaniel, he's actually the OC. Drew Petzing.
Wow.
Drew Petzing.
Wow.
We never hired him. He's just a random dude. He's not on the Lions coaching staff.
I did not see this one coming.
I know. I zagged. And I went way back. Went way to the bottom of the bag.
I thought you were in on Mike McDaniel.
Very much in on Mike McDaniel.
Or, sorry, in on Drew Petzing.
Look, I'm not anti-Drew Petzing. I just think it was crazy that they thought, Mike McDaniel didn't fit with the Lions cult. Dude, he was the best OC. Why didn't you just go try to hire him? Not to rehash all of that, but we were thinking of April Fool's thing. I wanted to include a couple Lions. You know what Lions one I should have just said? Hey, April Fool's, Frank Ragnow never actually retired. He's coming back. All of last year was a prank.
Yep, I had that one.
Same with him getting his money. April Fool's, we're actually giving him his $3 million bonus that we're demanding back from him right now. Bad optics by the Lions all around. I had both of those written down as well. And I had April Fool's, we actually signed Cam Jordan. We actually do have an edge rusher. We didn't just completely ignore that and tackle this offseason. Those are my April Fool's pranks.
I was gonna throw this Terry and Arnold situation in here as one, like he's not actually involved in all this April Fools, but I don't know. Is that like that changing much for the Lions? It's not like he's some elite lockdown corner.
I mean, they need him.
They do need him. You're right.
If the cornerback spot becomes another need, they're in like even more trouble than they already are. Whether or not you think Terry and Arnold is good is almost irrelevant. If they have to allocate more resources to the cornerback department in the draft, that is where like there's just too many needs to overcome at that point. I had two more written down. April Fools. Max Clark was just joking the whole time. He actually like all those chains, all the drop the balls in the outfield in spring training. He was just
Max
joking
Clark
around.
being one is funny.
And then I had Jaden Ivey. April Fools. I'm good. Nothing's going on.
I don't think an April Fool's is gonna fix that whole situation.
No, probably not.
I was gonna throw like it feels a little bit cheap to throw like an injury into the April Fools. Like April Fools, I'm not actually hurt. It's hard to believe that. But the Kirby Joseph thing feels like it could fall into an April Fool's joke just because of how weird it's been for so long. Like, oh, April Fools, I was just messing with you guys. I'll be good to go week 1. I'm ready. Just because we don't know anything and it's just been the weirdest handled situation ever.
I'd throw the Cade Cunningham lung injury into that as well.
That's probably the number one injury April Fool's thing you could reverse, right?
I mean, the Kirby Joseph one,
Yeah,
if we got
Cade
the all-pro
is going to
version,
come back. You're right. Like
maybe.
But like he's
I don't know
not.
that.
This isn't going to be career altering.
Oh, yeah. Kirby's is, I mean, if they had all-pro Kirby last year, I think
Right.
they make the playoffs. So maybe that's the most impactful long-term one. There was one more that I had. I just came up with off the top of my head. But you know what? I don't remember what it was. So you got any more?
No, but I have a funny YouTube chat April Fool's thing.
Let's go.
A while back, a coworker brought in jelly-filled donuts with a random one that was filled with ketchup.
Oh!
Rank that April Fool's joke.
10. That's disgusting. It's 10 if you're anybody but the one who gets the ketchup-filled donut.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny.
We're giving people too many ideas that aren't at work yet.
For real, yeah. John is about to pull up with something crazy.
Who gave us that? Who gave us that story?
Godzilla rocks.
Please give us more April Fool's stories. That is amazing. Incredible work by whoever brought that in to the office. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We're giving away a hobby box later for all the baseball card lovers out
is that
there.
a joke or
No April Fools. At 10:15, we're going to be opening our own set of cards, and then we'll also give away a set of cards too. This thing's worth like $150, $200. I don't know the exact amount, but we're giving it away here today for Big Win Wednesday, thanks to our friends over at Garber Chevrolet. All right, when we come back, more on, well, we'll hit the news, and then I want to do the Red Wings because they're at risk of having the longest active streak for this in the NHL, and unfortunately, it's not a good thing. 989-837-6125. Show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your home with Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Locally owned and trusted and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp, quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We will not be participating in April Fool's pranks or giving you fake news. Here's Kyle with the actual news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
See, now the people have to question whether or not that was a joke, because is any of this news going to be real?
All of it's going to be new. All of it's going to be real news. Nothing fake about it.
Right, yeah, it's all going to be real news,
He's
right?
winking at the camera. I don't like this.
Let's get into the news
now,
first.
Now I don't even know.
Exactly. This is why I hate April Fools, once again. Let's take a look at the community calendar, as always presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Tonight, I don't know if you know this, but it's also a full moon going on right now. It's just a full moon stroll at the Chippewa Nature Center from 8 to 9:30 p.m. That's real. I promise you that is real. April Fools with a full moon, though, feels a little feels a little sketchy, right? It's like a Friday the 13th kind of thing, right? I don't know.
Perhaps, yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not big into the moon thing. You know, there's a lot of Lions fans out there that correlate their wins and losses.
Like, you're not an
moon.
astrology person, is what you're saying? Yeah, neither am I. I like the moon. I think it looks cool.
Are there people out there that dislike
I like
the moon?
but I'm not if there's a full moon, yeah, I want to go look at it. I think that's cool. But I don't look into the astrology side of things.
Kyle Sandel, fan of the moon.
Not a moon hater. Okay, last night, I know we're going to talk about the Pistons later in the show and Jalen Duren's dominance, but worth noting, the Pistons do clinch their first division title in 18 years with the win last night. Look, I know divisions in the NBA don't matter. I bet most people couldn't even tell you the 5 teams that are in the Central Division, or maybe even the name of the division. Nonetheless, though, just goes to show how good of a year that the Pistons are having.
I'm just waiting for them to clinch that 1 seed, man. It's coming. I don't know exactly how many games they have to win, because if the Celtics lose or win, it changes that, but they will be clinching the 1 seed sooner rather than later.
It's coming up. Less than about a week and a half left in the season, and they have the day off today after playing back-to-back games. They do beat the Raptors last night. Jalen Duren had himself an impressive game. Let's zoom out to the world of golf. Tiger Woods, who, of course, we talked about earlier this week, has been in the headlines for not good things. He is stepping away from golf to seek treatment, of course, receiving yet another. I think he got a DUI. I'm pretty sure it's been reported pretty differently here, but got into a car accident nonetheless, a single car accident. Not the first time in his career, and he will not be competing in the Masters is what this means, which is, of course, a shame.
I think it's for the
but
best.
It's his fault, yeah.
I think when Tiger's in the Masters at this point, it's almost a little sad. It's not sad for him necessarily, but it overshadows the best golfers we have actually competing in the Masters. It overshadows everybody else.
Does it overshadow them?
Yes.
Because he likely just won't make the cut. So it's just the first 2 days are kind of just about Tiger.
Right, but they should be about the players that are, in first place and are off to incredible starts. I think he overshadows them.
Sure, I guess. You're right, though. This is for the best overall, though. No doubt about it.
I will say Tiger Woods, top 5 athlete ever that I just like throwing on their highlights.
No doubt.
The fact that a golfer's on there is crazy, but you throw on some of his
golf
prime highlights,
it
it doesn't even make sense. Oh, let me hold the club inverse and hit this out of the woods, right up onto the hole, right onto the green. What?
Very ridiculous. Masters kicking off next week, by the way, following the Final Four National Championship, which just goes to show it's why this time of year is pretty awesome sports-wise. Chris in the YouTube chat, by the way, letting us know the Pistons' magic number for the 1 seed is 2.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
Appreciate that, Chris. Okay, moving on. More news. Going back to basketball, let's go to college basketball. Tom Izzo announces yesterday Michigan State versus Arkansas will take place on Thanksgiving at Little Caesars Arena this year. So they were supposed to play at Arkansas this season because they played at the Breslin Center this year. They were going to do a home and home for 2 years. And instead of going to Arkansas, John Calipari says, why not just stay in Michigan? We're going to play at Little Caesars Arena. It's going to follow the Lions Thanksgiving game as well. So going to continue to have a cool event going on all day in Detroit.
On Saturday they're doing this, or on Thanksgiving?
On Thanksgiving.
What? They're going to play a game in Ford Field on Thanksgiving?
Little Caesars Arena.
Oh. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, that makes way more sense.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't be playing basketball at Ford Field.
It wouldn't be the first time we
arena.
played basketball in the football stadium.
Right. Last year, MSU UNC played on Thanksgiving. That was a pretty good game. So this year we're getting it at Little Caesars Arena following the Lions game. So.
I gotta take. I don't like this. I don't like when Michigan State starts doing the Thanksgiving stuff. You know what?
It's not just Michigan State.
I know.
It's a college basketball thing.
I know, but play the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, although the NFL's trying to take that over as well.
There's gonna be football there, yeah.
Play then. During Thanksgiving, I want to watch football, and I don't want to be like held hostage to the TV. And then I feel like after the Lions game, I will be if Michigan State's playing. Play the day before. That's my take on it.
Whatever. I mean, yeah, whatever. Okay, a couple more things here in the news. I did just want to throw this in there because I thought this was hilarious. We all saw the Dan Hurley ref thing that happened after the buzzer beater, or not really buzzer beater, game-winning shot, UConn versus Duke. He gets in the face of the ref. He was asked about this on a podcast with Mark Ingram, nonetheless, asking him the question. He says he thought that the ref was looking for a chest bump. And so he went up to chest bump him and just headbutted him instead, and of course didn't receive a tech or anything. One of the wildest things I've seen a coach do in a game.
For sure should have been teched up. Glad he wasn't.
Right. Would have ruined the moment, but like, how is that not a tech?
Bro, headbutted a ref. That guy's insane. And it's getting to the point too where it's like, you know how it's like anybody but Duke? Honestly, anybody but Dan Hurley. This guy's too crazy to keep winning national championships. I don't think he will. But, man, he's a hell of a coach. He's got to be coach number one in college basketball, right?
He is. You don't want him to win?
No.
Why?
He's already got two of them. He's fine.
A little bit of a dynasty, potentially, if they win.
No, thank you.
That would be pretty bad. We'll do this final thing in the news, and then we will save the rest for later. We, of course, have all this ABS stuff going on in baseball. We're going to continue to talk about it. Well, CB Buckner, who was getting criticized for his behind-the-plate ABS challenge system, was the first base ump yesterday in Brewers versus Rays. Please tell me everybody saw this, because he called a guy out for not touching the bag at first place when very clearly the runner full foot on top of the bag. They reviewed this and challenged it, of course. Thank God that you can do that. And it was reversed. And both of the managers, Kevin Cash, Pat Murphy, they look at each other and start laughing because, like, it was one of the worst calls you'll ever see.
It wasn't even like a, how did you miss that? It was like was this guy's eyes, did he just make something up? Is he having, like, visions of just random things that aren't actually reality? The dude stepped on the middle of the bag and just ran through first base. And then he was like, he didn't touch it. Didn't touch the bag at all.
And they show the replay.
What?
They show the replay, and of course he touches the bag. Buckner's not even looking at first base.
Right, he's looking at the ball.
He's looking at where the ball is. He's not even watching the runner. Like, it's one of the weirdest calls you'll ever see.
How do you, like, if you're the first base umpire in that situation, Buckner, how do you continue on the rest of the game? Like, there's no way you're making eye contact with either dugout the rest of the game. You got to feel so embarrassed when that replay shows up on the video board, and it's not even like let's zoom in. Did he touch the bag or did he not? He stepped on the middle of the bag.
Yeah.
Of the big expanded bag. He just stepped right on top of it, and he had the audacity to be like, I don't think he touched it.
What do you do after the challenge? Like, that's the best part about challenges and the new ABS now in MLB is it does get to just expose these terrible calls by the refs, and I love to see their reaction to these.
Yeah, I still think they get it right more often than they get it wrong.
Of course they do, yeah.
But that call last night, the fact that it's challengeable and overturnable, it won't go down as one of the worst ever. It's got to be like truly one of the worst individual calls there's ever been in sports. He didn't touch the bag. He stepped right on top of it.
The big white bag. How do you miss it? Yeah, it's just terrible.
It's the equivalent of if someone ran down the middle of the football field, right between the hashes, ran into the end zone, and a referee was like, he stepped out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds. Like, dude, you're just making something up. How? Like, where did you even get this information from? Yeah, hilarious stuff.
Hey, wait 1 second. I got one more thing in the news.
Okay.
April Fools, I don't.
Okay. 989-837-612. That was the worst prank ever.
Right?
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Thanks to your friends over at Curveball Collectibles. We're giving away Hobby Box for all the baseball card collectors at 10:15. We're going to rip in our own pack as well. So stay tuned. All right, quick shout out to our friends over at Eastman Party Store, your one-stop shop for everything you need before the weekend hits. Whether you're grabbing cold drinks, snacks for the game, or realizing last minute that you do in fact need ice, Eastman Party Store has you covered. Heading to a tailgate, house party, or just sitting on your couch tonight, make it easy on yourself. Swing by Eastman Party Store and get in, get out, and get on with your night. That's Eastman Party Store. Quick stop, great selection, and always clutch when you need them most.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building. built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, so the Wings, they not only lost last night, but just got shellacked. It's desperation time for this team, and they're showing no signs of urgency. The collapse is 100% real for the third consecutive year, and this is the stat that I've kind of been hoarding for the whole show that I've teased a couple times. Do you know that if the Wings don't make the playoffs right now, which they're out of the playoff picture, 2 points out, everyone around them in the standings ahead of them lost yesterday. Chance to gain 2 points and at least tie themselves for that last wild card spot yesterday. They blow it. If they don't make the playoffs this year, they are going to hold the longest active playoff drought in the NHL, because Buffalo's 100% going to end their 14-year drought this year and make the playoffs, which means the Red Wings, if they missed this year, would have a 10-year playoff drought, which would not only be the longest in franchise history, but the longest in the NHL. This is the place we call Hockey Town. There's Hockey Town in the middle of the ice. Center ice, it says Hockey Town. And they're going to have the longest active playoff drought in all of hockey. I don't know, Kyle. Something about that doesn't sit right, and I almost feel like you got to strip the title of Hockey Town, shut down the restaurant across the Little Caesars Arena. That's not okay. 10 years of not making the playoffs. Dylan Larkin's in his prime, and he hasn't been in the playoffs since his rookie season. And I see all this takes as long as Dylan Larkin's the best player on this team, they're not going to win a Stanley Cup or do anything. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's not. What I do know is 100% factual is this is now 3 years in a row that they've absolutely fallen apart here in March. 12-26-4 is their record the last 3 years in March. 12-26-4. And for years, there was a scapegoat. It was Derek Lalonde. Now this has happened twice in a row under McClellan. How about this? Maybe the roster is just not good enough, and as long as you can hold it together in the regular season, you can. But when push comes to shove and you actually have to start winning games, they've never been good enough to actually squeak into the postseason. This year, Steve Yzerman, your number 7, by the way, trades away a first-round pick, and they're still not going to make the playoffs. He finally gets aggressive and starts moving draft capital and butchering the future, and they're still not even going to end the playoff drought if they don't turn things around in the final 8 games. They've got opportunities to do it. They've got 8 games to get hot. As of right now, they are showing no signs of life, though. And there has been signs of this all year long. I have alluded to the point differential all season, that it's just the lone team in the Eastern Conference that is in the playoff race that has a negative point differential. So some are saying that this team has been kind of fraudulent the entire year and has just squeaked out some wins when they weren't necessarily supposed to. And now it's coming back to bite them. Maybe the roster just was never good enough the last 3 years. Maybe Dylan Larkin can't be the best player on a team that can go on a run. Who knows? What is factual is that they have blown it in March 3 years in a row. This is year 7 for Steve Yzerman. And if they don't make the playoffs this year, they're going to have the longest drought active for playoff appearances in the NHL. That's unacceptable for a place that calls themselves Hockey Town, of all places.
It's unbelievable to even think about,
right? The Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah, like John in the YouTube chat went from the longest active playoff streak to the longest active not making the playoff streak.
Like that.
That's ridiculous. That's crazy to think about.
It's almost hard to luck your way into that situation. It truly,
yeah, it's difficult to do.
And somehow we're sitting here this Hockey Town, center ice. What are we talking about? Get rid of that. I don't think we have the ability to call ourselves that.
Pizza Man says Hockey Town died with Mr. I.
Ugh.
Rest in peace, Mike Ilitch.
It might have, but this hockey's different than baseball in terms of the ownership. Ownership matters in baseball because you actually have to spend to win, and the Tigers have done a good job of spending as of late, I will say. But hockey, the salaries are so much lower, and there's a salary cap put in place too. The ownership doesn't have as big of an impact. So whether or not it was an Ilitch thing or not, who knows? Obviously, there's been some reports the last couple of years that Ilitch Enterprises Tigers. There's been some bad work environments. Maybe that has something to do with it. We're grasping at straws here, trying to find any sort of explanation for it. I have none, other than they just haven't been good enough the last 3 years, and that's why there's been a March collapse. It hasn't necessarily... Like, I did run it through my brain last night. Are they just cursed in March? Did something happen? And then it clicked. This team's never been good enough. They've just been close at best, and it shows in March when teams are actually pushing to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, they just overachieve for a while with a roster that clearly isn't a playoff caliber roster, and then when push comes to shove, when it's crunch time for a lot of these teams to really show their true colors, the Red Wings show their true colors, which is that of not a playoff team.
Right. Year 7 for Steve Yzerman, I would have a hard time believing that anybody is still on board if they don't make the playoffs, that he should still be around. It feels like we've been having this conversation for years. This is like year 3 of having is Steve Yzerman the right guy to do this job conversation.
It might even be year 5 of this, man. Like, this has just been going on forever.
And if they don't make the playoffs again, I don't know what sort of justification there could be.
Do we have to take that thing off the wall behind you there? Like, surely isn't Stanleytown. That's for sure.
I don't know what sort of justification there could actually be for keeping Steve Yzerman around if they don't make the playoffs here. I think the players are playing they've got 8 games left. I think they're playing for Steve Yzerman's job, and I think he probably knows that, right? There's no way he's sitting around like, well, you got to trust the Yzer plan. Like, this is all going to come together at some point.
No one thinks that anymore, right? Like,
I hope not.
I think everybody's out on the Yzer plan, which...
What is the Yzer plan? Someone tell me.
It's a great point. Esco puts it great in our YouTube chat. It's agreeing with you. By the way, happy birthday to Esco. He said it was his birthday earlier.
Oh, shout out Esco.
It's poor roster construction. Simple as that.
Sure.
It's exactly what you're implementing. Like, it's very simple. Nick says it's time to fire Steve. Move everybody that you can, get as much draft capital as you can, and go full rebuild.
I mean, I just want everyone to know how long that takes in the NHL. Like, that is a long process to do a full sort of rebuild thing. And I'm not, like, saying that's not the right decision, but know what you're signing up for. That is another
Yeah.
Like that's not a 2-year turnaround. All of a sudden, you're probably looking at a 15-year playoff drought if that's the case.
Or do you go full Stan Van Gundy and sell out just to make the playoffs?
They did that this year.
Right.
They traded
Good
away
point.
a first-round pick, and they're still not going to make the playoffs.
What's the equivalent of the Blake Griffin trade?
What they did earlier
in
this
hockey.
year.
Right.
And
Bad.
And Red Wings fans, I know, are pretty pressed. Like, they're going to hold it against him that he didn't trade for Quinn Hughes when he was available earlier this year, which, like, probably could have made a pretty big impact, you know? One of the best players in the NHL. He didn't end up doing that. Traded away a first-round pick for a defenseman, and that hasn't really proven to be any sort of a difference maker so far for the Wings. Again, the season's not totally done. They could end the playoff drought. They're 2 points out. But after another bad March, it just it feels inevitable that this team's just not going to do it.
Just look at the way they've been playing. It's that simple. Like,
yeah.
there's no way.
Must-win game tonight?
Yeah.
Let's go down 3-0.
There's no way you have confidence in this team. Like, there's just no way you do.
They come out flat. They go out sad at the end of these games when they're getting in fights, when the game's just clearly over because they're frustrated. It's 2-0 by the time we're halfway through the first period. And they know, it's not like they don't feel the pressure, right? It's not like they don't know the circumstance. Like, it's just another hockey game. They know that they've been collapsing and they can't stop leaking fluid.
No, dude, I disagree. That's a bad take.
What do you mean?
April Fools. I'm just joking.
You know what? You've convinced me. I hate this day. It's not fun anymore. 989-837-6125. Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Oh yeah. Yeah.
This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, welcome back into the show, everybody. Let's go to the Mitt messages real quick before we circle. I do want to talk about Jalen Duren because, I mean, without Cade Cunningham this year, he has been on an absolute tear. So have the Pistons. Do you know their record without Cade?
Ooh, I'm excited to hear this.
11-4. I mean, that's like,
It's pretty crazy, man.
for someone who is making the case that he should win MVP because if you took him away from a team, he would have the biggest impact. Like, oh, you take this player away and they're this much worse. Like the real term valuable. That's the case I was making for Cade. Clearly just not the case. They're a pretty good team without him, which I don't think was on anybody's bingo card this year. We'll circle back to that here in a second. I do want to get to the Mitt message line here. We got somebody's comments on Steve Eisman, and then we've got an April Fool's prank.
Perfect.
Rob from Saginaw says, love Stevie Y. He was a hell of a player, but he's clearly not the man to get the players to want to come play for the Red Wings. They need someone to come in and take over and try to flip this thing around fairly quickly. If they don't make the playoffs this year, he sadly has to go. Yeah, I think Rob might be onto something that if they don't make the playoffs, maybe this isn't a full rebuild, reset, tear everything down, trade everyone away. It's just someone who can work the edges and get this team like to take a step forward basically immediately, because it's not like this is a bad team, right? It's just a team that's there's something missing. There's an X factor missing. They have good players. They have someone who's up for the Norris Award in Mo Sider. They've got a gold medalist in Dylan Larkin and a really young, exciting player in Lucas Raymond. It's all the pieces around them that I think are missing. And do they have like a super duper star? No, they don't. But they have a lot of good players, and maybe that's not enough. But I think there's enough of a foundation where I think if you hired the right GM, you could probably fix this thing sooner rather than later. The problem is Steve Yzerman's a slow burn builder, and now it's just like, dude, we're at the bottom of the wick. You did this bit for way too long, and now we're at the bottom of the wick, and you've got nothing to show for it.
He's a slow burn builder, but like how slow? You know, like this has been 7 years now. And
he
like,
inherited a garbage situation.
Sure.
Like, one of my favorite stats is that the Red Wings finished with the worst record in the league. I think it was either the year he took over or the year before. So he inherited the worst record in the league and the highest payroll. Okay.
Yeah, that sucks.
You get a little bit of a grace period.
7 years?
7 years, it's
to not
over.
even make the play. I mean, like to not even make the playoffs. You know, like that's ridiculous. And to me, like, and this is where I'll end things. It's just very clearly a sense of comfortability with Steve Yzerman
100%.
that makes this worse. Like Ryan in the YouTube chat, I agree with him. He says Yzerman's not going to get held accountable for this because, let's be real, he's got a lifetime contract. Like
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does either. But like clearly, he feels secure because of who he is. I mean, he probably deserves that, right? But we've gotten to a point where like, and we talk about this all the time, so this isn't new. This isn't a new take, but like, you've got to separate Steve Yzerman, the Red Wings legend, from the current general manager.
The-
They just have to be separated.
If Steve Yzerman, the GM's name was Joe Schmo or Ben Bosscher or Kyle Sandel, that guy would have been fired 2 years ago. 100%. And you're right. There's a comfortability with him. Again, like, I think it would be crazy. I don't know what the justification would be for bringing him back for another season for his 8th year. And I think this is the first year that the Red Wings fans would actually revolt. Like, even the Yzerman crazies that are out there.
No one is on board with keeping him around.
No. After you trade a first-round pick and still don't make the playoffs, dude, it's done. You're out of excuses. You're out of reasonings. You're out of selling us hope. You have no more hope to sell that the future is bright and that you don't want to mess up what it is down the line. That's done, man. You sold that away at the deadline.
You're right. I think the only case to keep him around would be, and then, trust me, I'm not taking this case. I'm just thinking about a potential mindset here from some fans, and maybe even the Red Wings themselves, is like, you don't want Yzerman, like, the dream is him going out good. You know, like, you don't want his last stint with the Red Wings to be this.
Yeah.
You don't want him to be remembered most recently. He obviously won't be remembered overall for this, but most recently remembered for this, the longest active playoff drought in the sport. Like, you don't want that to be how he goes out.
No, but
what's the alternative? You add a year on top of it, they miss the playoffs again next year?
But
Like,
all it takes is, like, do we think of Joe Dumars as a bad GM? Like, he goes down as a bad one, but no, when you think of Joe Dumars, you think of the Finals MVP. You know, like, history will correct
True.
itself with Yzerman, and he'll be remembered for all the greatness and bringing a Stanley Cup to
Chauncey
Detroit.
Billups, do we think about him as the gambler or
Well,
the...
It depends who you ask. I don't. Like, you're right, though. Like, that's a good example. Eventually, history will rewrite itself, and you'll remember the good times rather than the bad times. This is a bad time, and I would like it to end now, please, and thank you. Let's go to one of our April Fool's messages that we got. Not sure the name of this texter, but he said, April Fool's prank. My dad went to work at 4:30 a.m., woke up my friend at 5 a.m., saying his car broke down and needed a ride. My friend drove 30 minutes away to the location his dad gave him, only to find out it was an April Fool's prank. Oh, my God.
That might be too
That's
far.
mean.
5 a.m.?
That's really mean.
5 in the morning? For someone who, like, I would assume this person probably doesn't usually wake up that early?
No. The dad's friend went to work at 4:30 a.m. or goes to work at 4:30 a.m.
Oh.
So
he had to miss work for this? Oh, man, that's a brutal prank.
anything that costs, like, dollars, which 30 miles does cost dollars, that's when it becomes like,
Well, you got to go back, too.
oh, I'm just so pissed. Yeah, that's a waste of an hour. Yeah, that would that's a good prank, but also I would
Probably
be pissed
too
at that
far.
person for a long time. Hey, I'm going to drive 30 minutes out of my way to help
so you can't be mad about it, though. You can't be mad. Like, it is April Fool's.
I'm not talking to that guy for a while, though.
Come on.
At least a couple days. I'm going to need some time to cool off. I'd be pissed about it in the moment.
I'd be mad for like an hour. And then I'd be like, oh, that was kind of funny. Like, you could kind of look back and be like, okay, yeah, that was kind of funny.
I think it would take me a full day. I can't imagine a friend was, I guess I don't really have any, like, friends that live, like you in Mount Pleasant. If you were like, hey, my car broke down.
Right.
I need a ride back to Midland. And I drove all the way to Mount Pleasant. And then you were just like, yeah, I'm in Midland. Like, my car's fine. I'd be like, dude, you just burned.
You would be so
You
mad.
just burned 90 minutes out of my life.
Oh, that's
I would
so
be
good.
pissed. We'd be leading the show with it the next day.
Man, I should have done that. That's good.
No. You know what? Now I know if you ever call me.
I
ask-
mean, it's only on April Fool's Day.
Yeah, but like
I would not do that to you on a regular day.
I know, but this person doing it at 4:30, 5 a.m., my brain's not working
Okay,
that early.
that's actually the part about this that makes it worse, is doing it that early. Like, you woke up with the intention of doing that. Like,
yeah.
oh, that's
A planned
good.
out April Fool's
Let
prank.
us know your other April Fool's pranks.
Yes, please. 989-837-6125. Have you been a part of any good ones?
When I was a kid, like, I used to do them, and my dad was really big on it. Like, there's some classic ones, like you put the rubber band around the hose on the kitchen sink.
Oh,
you know, like, so when
classic.
you turn on the sink, you just get sprayed by it. Like,
Classic.
that's a classic. But like, I can't really recall any big time April Fool's pranks that I have pulled or gotten pulled against me.
As I reiterated in the opening segment, my favorite April Fool's prank is just like scaring the crap out of someone. I don't even know
Like,
if that considers
It's not really a prank.
It is to me. It like genuinely, there's nothing that gives me more of a serotonin boost than just screaming really loud and seeing someone's visceral reaction of like scared out of their mind. It's so fun. I don't do it very often
Right.
anymore. I used to do it a lot. It was a problem.
A problem.
I have to find a way to do it to somebody today. It is by far the best way to prank someone. Just scaring the lights out of them. Used to love it. Anyway.
Okay.
989-837-6125. You know what I'm really excited about? I've been excited about this for about a week now. Thanks to our friends over at Curveball Collectibles and our friends at Garber Chevrolet for making Big Win Wednesday possible. We have these hobby boxes that we're going to be giving away. Topps 75 2026 baseball series. So here's the plan. We're going to give away the enormous pack, these ones that you see here. And then Kyle and I are going to open up this pack, and I'll be completely honest, I don't know that much about baseball cards. I've never been a cards collector, so we could pull $1 million card and we would probably have no idea, but hopefully it looks cool and we kind of can recognize it. We're going to open those up when we come back, and then we're also going to give away the key word for you to text in to potentially win this set of baseball cards as well. Unopened, brand new from Curveball Collectibles in Saginaw. Really excited about this. Big Win Wednesday, thanks to our friends over at Garber Chevrolet. 989-837-6125. Be ready to text in the keyword. When we come back, we'll reveal it. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Mr. Appliance, they're your go-to fast, reliable appliance repair right here in Midland. From refrigerators, washers, ovens, dryers, and more, they'll get you back up and running with confidence. Keep your home running smoothly with Mr. Appliance. Schedule service today at MrAppliance.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, be ready to text in the keyword. Let's go. Cards. Text in cards to 989-837-6125 for a chance to win this Hobby Box 2026 Series 1 Tops 75 card collection. I mean, this is what for our YouTube audience, this is what a normal box looks like. This is the Hobby Box. This is a massive card pack that we are giving away for all you card collectors out there. Thanks to our friends over at Curveball Collectibles in Saginaw. And obviously thanks to our friends over at Garber Chevrolet for making Big Win Wednesday possible. To celebrate, and we'll pick a winner here at the end of this segment. So, again, cards to 989-837-6125. To celebrate, how about you and I open a smaller edition of this?
Let's do it.
And see what we can pull.
So have you had any experience as a card opener?
So, all right, here's my background in it. When I was a child, I got given a huge box of cards. I have no idea where those are anymore, nor do I think any of them had any sort of value. And about 2 months ago, around Christmas time, I was shopping, and I just saw one, and I had like a random urge to open packs. Never had felt this before. I bought it, and it was basically worthless. That's my only experience.
That's pretty good.
Here, there's a bunch of these. You come take a couple.
Okay, I'll be here.
Yeah, there's 6 of these. I think there's 10 cards in each of them. So we will open these now. Here you go, Kyle. You'll need some scissors. I'll open mine first. I'm not sure how good of a radio segment this is, but you know what? We're going to make it work. We're going to make this work. What's the goal here? Obviously it's to pull highly worth cards, but like what's the best thing we can pull?
So
I Googled this earlier, and there's like a Mike Trout card that's in here, potential. Roman Anthony is a good one. Oh my God, I actually did get a Roman Anthony card. That was the first one.
Is it crazy?
I looked at.
Are you April Fools in us right now?
Roman Anthony. I mean, it looks just like a regular card. That's the only downside.
So that's like a
in
base
this.
card, probably.
Yeah, so probably worthless. I don't know, though. It says tops. I mean, there's like a little gold trophy at the bottom.
Right.
All-star rookie, it says that. Does that make it more valuable?
Rookie card. Hey, I got a Josh Young card, brother of Jace Young, of course. I feel like everyone went through a card phase at some point when they were a kid. And then obviously, like, you kind of grow out of it. Some people are really into that, though. Like, there's definitely, like, a lore to the card stuff. I used to be big on ripping packs, like, in video games.
In 2K, yeah.
2K, I would always do that.
I got a BFFs card with 2 Cubs players, Pete Crow Armstrong and Suzuki.
Ooh, that's kind of fun.
That's kind of fun, yeah. Wait a minute.
I just got a team card.
Look at this one. Okay, go ahead.
A Houston Astros American League card. It's just the team.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I got
interesting.
a Jack Caglione card that looks fancy.
Oh,
it's like stars of MLB.
He's a rookie, right? Rookie card.
Maybe this one's worth millions of dollars. It's shiny. It's gold. When you do this, it's like got the reflectors on it.
Dude, you're not gonna believe who I just pulled.
Kevin McGonigal?
Tarek Skubal card, baby.
Oh,
Let's
man.
go.
Is it shiny?
No, it's a regular card, but just a regular top 75 card.
I got a home runs National League leaders card. Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto, and Kyle Schwarber. This one's kind of sick. You see this?
Oh, dude, you're getting way cooler cards than I am.
It says Kyle Schwarber on the back. It has the entire leaders from the 2025 season. Schwarber, Ohtani, and Juan Soto, the top 3 guys.
Dude, I want to get a cool one like that.
I feel like mine's worth millions of dollars right now.
Okay, wait, I see a shiny one. Ooh, wait, before the shiny one. Ichiro card. And this one's heavier than the other ones, too.
Millions of dollars.
I would think so.
Carlos Cortez kind of looks like a base card.
Ooh, okay, this is the final card that I got. Shiny Vladimir Guerrero Jr. card.
Whoa.
Look at that thing. I mean, that looks crazy. If you're listening on the radio, by the way, just take our word for it, or just tune into our YouTube page,
I got it. Aaron Judge, base card it looks like. Guy's going to strike out 6 times now.
Yep.
I do have a Kerry Carpenter card.
Not bad.
Too bad he's the worst player on the team right now.
Thomas in our YouTube chat says, just started buying a few packs every couple weeks after watching them rip packs on Z93. Okay.
Oh, you know how I got the home run leaders one for the National League? Now I got the RBIs one. Kyle Schwarber, Pete Alonso, and Juan Soto.
Do those have any like special? Like, do they look like a normal card outside of the 3?
I mean, they're a little shiny on the front, a little more shiny. I would say I have like 4 ones that I'm actually just gonna file away. As like, wait a minute, are these actually valuable? And that's just from that. Except I did get one more. Look at this one, Trey Turner, shiny. I don't. Again, I'm not an expert on this.
Look,
when it's shiny,
if
I feel
the
like
card
that's worth
is
more.
shiny, I think that means something good, right?
I would assume so.
I got a funny bit. O'Neal Cruz, but it's him out in center field. Did he catch this ball? What do we think? Yes or no? It's about to go into his glove. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say no as well. That was only. I mean,
I just got one of those three guys: Schwarber, Ohtani, Juan Soto. I just got one of the home runs leaders in the National League. That's a cool card.
Are you still on your first one?
No, I'm on the just finishing up the second one.
Oh, so you're not going through everyone. You're just shuffling through the shiny.
You got a shiny Gunnar Henderson?
I do not have a shiny Gunnar
Oh,
Henderson.
because I did. Stars of the MLB. This one isn't that cool, though. All right, I'm on to my last pack.
I like my Jack Caglione one the most right now.
That one's, I mean, the fact that he's a rookie, too. If we pull a McGonagall, we're going crazy, by the way.
I got a Mookie. Looks like a base package, though. An A's one, just an athletics card.
Actually, is a McGonagall card even going to be in here, though?
A Brewers one. I saw they did make a 1-of-1 4 hits in his first game card.
Oh.
Those won't be in here, though, because we had those before. I keep
Right.
getting the team ones now.
Yeah, the team ones are kind of boring.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, oh. What'd he pull?
Wait a minute. Hold
What'd
on,
he
Kyle.
pull?
I got 2 ones. The Felix Bautista one just kind of looks like the Trey Turner one, so maybe not as valuable as we initially thought. This Bryce Harper card is insane.
Whoa.
It says on the back, stars of the MLB.
Yeah,
Or stars of MLB.
That's what the Gunnar Henderson one I got was, too. Stars of MLB. Show it to the camera. Interesting.
That what yours looks like?
Yeah, that's what that. It was just the Orioles colors. If
Interesting.
anybody knows about cards, by the way.
Yeah, we could be holding millions of dollars. We could be holding
Well,
10
we're not.
cents.
We're
We don't
not.
know.
But
We don't know that.
okay, so this card came in backwards. Is that mean something to you?
I had one coming backwards too. Oh, I think I have that. Wait a minute. Is this the Gunnar Henderson one you have?
Stars of MLB?
No, this is different. Titans of something. I can't see it.
Oh no, that looks way cooler.
Is this now our
Dude,
top card?
you're pulling way better cards than me. I just got another Vlad Guerrero Jr. card, but this one is Profiles. Don't know what that means.
Ronald Acuna.
And then my
Hunter
final
Brown,
cool
Oliver
card
Kirk.
is another Stars of MLB, Yordan Alvarez. So at least I pulled a Tarek Skubal. It was just a base Tarek Skubal, but like that was fun.
Okay, I got 2 cool ones to close out. I got a Christian Campbell Future Stars card. And I got a Greatest Hits card. Pete Crow Armstrong, his 25th round tripper to each 25 and 25. I assume that's home runs and stolen bases.
Oh yeah,
From July 10th, 2025. One of, I don't know if it's one of one, but
that looks pretty cool.
I feel like I won if this was a competition.
And so what? We had 6 packs to open,
Yeah.
and the one we're giving away has way more.
I believe it's like 3 times as many.
Yeah.
More. There's 20 packs, 12 cards per pack. So that's
There's 20 packs in there?
There's 240 cards in here.
Holy smokes.
So that is going to someone who can text in the keyword cards to 989-837-6125. One more chance, one more minute to text in with their.
Hey, Thomas says the card, if it was flipped over, it might mean something.
Really?
I got to remember that.
How do we check the value of all of these? Like, is there a website?
I think you just kind of have to know. No, there's got to be a way to
No,
check.
there's got to
yeah.
be.
No, I don't think we pulled anything insane unless
I
somebody.
kind of do.
Yeah, okay, he kind of does.
I feel like this Gunnar Henderson
John
one
says
is
that Christian Campbell card might be something. Okay.
the Future Stars one.
Yeah.
John Vicari said that?
I think he's making a joke. He said Brad loved it.
The Greatest Hit one's pretty cool. I'm really intrigued by this one. The Gunnar Henderson.
Yeah, that
I don't
card
even
looks
know.
sweet.
And the Bryce Harper one is pretty cool, too.
We have D Tigers 940 in our YouTube chat saying, not sure if it's been pulled yet, but you had a chance to get a redemption ticket for a trip to the Home Run Derby and others. I don't think we got that in ours.
No, I don't think so. That'd be cool, though.
But if you have a chance for that, too, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have 250 chances to do it because that's how many cards are allegedly in this box. We will give our winner or reveal who our winner is when we come back from this break. If you text in, be on the lookout for a text back. We're going to need a confirmation that you are going to want this box. You got to come pick it up from Dad Diamond. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. on 100.9 The Mitt.
I think this Jack Caglione card is actually the top one that we got.
That makes sense. Rookie cards are always like the big ones you want to get.
Well, and it's gold. I looked it up.
Oh, right. It's gold.
This website, I think, just kind of collects a bunch of them and what they've gone for. This one I'm seeing could be up to a couple $100, depending on who's willing to buy it.
Graydon was not happy with you for throwing the pack of cards.
Oh.
Yeah.
You caught him.
He wasn't happy about that.
You caught him.
Right.
Yeah, pretty cool. By the way, our winner for Big Win Wednesday is Aaron from Bay City. Congratulations to Aaron. You are our winner. We opened, what did we open? 60 cards, right?
Yeah.
There's 240 in here. 240 cards in here. Aaron, congratulations. You can come pick this up at Dow Diamond anytime at the front office. We'll get you some more details on that next commercial break. I'll get back to you.
Very
Super
cool.
fun. Thanks to our friends over at Curveball Collectibles for giving us these to give away. That was pretty fun to open these up. I'm excited to do that again. We will be doing that about once a month. And who knows, maybe you and I will set up our retirement funds with one of these crazy cards.
No, I already did with that Casey or the Tarek Scuba one, so shout out to that.
Also, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet for making Big Win Wednesday possible. If you need a new ride, need to get your car fixed up in any way, need a used car, whatever it is, Garber Chevrolet in Midland is your place to go. By the way, so the Pistons won again last night. Jalen Duren was insane. There's this insane Jalen Duren stat that I saw that I wanted to share with everybody. He's the third player since the merger in 1970 to have multiple games in a season with 30 points, 9 rebounds, and only one missed field goal attempt. He did it in November as well. You want to guess the other two players that have done this in NBA history?
I mean, I assume it's got to be two legends, right?
Yep.
Wilt?
No, since the merger.
Oh. Hakeem?
Nope.
David Robinson?
Nope.
I'm trying to think of these high field goals. Shaq?
Nope.
Man.
Close. Played against Shaq.
Tim Duncan?
Nope. Think about guys
Patrick Ewing?
who only shot. There's one of them is kind of like if Jalen Duren turns into this, that's kind of
Dwight Howard.
There it is. Dwight Howard did this, and Charles Barkley did this. Two Hall of Fame guys. That'd be impressive if Jalen Duren could turn into Dwight Howard. Maybe not what he is defensively, but everything he is offensively.
That was kind of always the thing. Like, oh, he's just like baby Dwight Howard. That was always like the thing that people gave to him. Obviously,
I don't think he'll ever
Dwight
be that
Howard
defensively.
is a generational defensive player. Yeah, exactly. Won like 4 depoys. But yeah, to your point, like just the pure dominance that he has in strength and not being this like 7-foot tall player. You know, like Dwight Howard was 6'10", 6'11", and was so dominant. And Jalen Duren kind of fits that mold as well.
I don't think it's crazy that you could make the argument that he's the third best center in the NBA. And I mentioned the Pistons' record without Cade this year is 11-4. He's obviously the number one reason why. He's averaging 24 points per game in games that Cade Cunningham is not playing this year, and he's maybe even more so than we necessarily gave him credit for now that we're like kind of creeping up on the end of the season. You look back as to reasons that they're the 1 seed, and it was just Cade. Duren, it might be a little bit more of a duo than we necessarily realized, if that makes sense. Like, it was always Cade's the superstar, Duren rocks too. We might just have 2 bona fide studs on this team. I don't think it's crazy to say he's one of the 3 best centers in the NBA right now. Jokic, obviously, 3-time MVP. Nobody's touching him. One of the great offensive players we've ever had. And then Wemby, I mean, we've never seen anything like it. Those are your 2 best centers. After that, I think Duren, Bam Adebayo, who I don't know if you saw this, he scored 83 points.
What?
And Karl Anthony Towns. I think those are kind of the 3 guys that would be up for that third center in the NBA rankings. I don't think it's crazy to say that Duren is kind of approaching that as one of the 15 or so best players in the NBA.
Are we just not counting Joel Embiid? Like, is he excluded from this?
No, miss me with that. You got to play to be able to be eligible for this.
Just asking. I mean, the guy does average 27 points per game.
Sure. How many games has he played this year?
36.
Yeah, no thanks. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not a lot. I could see it. I could get behind this. I mean, he is in the games without Cade, like you said. You talk about how good the Pistons have been without Cade. It's because of Jalen Duren. Like it's absolutely the guy was 12 of 13 last night, 30 ball, and by the way, has
against
been
a playoff team nonetheless.
Right.
It's not like it's some team that just threw in the towel.
right exactly, has been drilling his free throws. By the way, like shout out to Duren for knocking down his free throws too.
He is the worst free throw shooter of the three players we're going over as who's eligible to be the third best player. He's 75% from the line this year.
That's good. Like that if Duren shoots 75%, yes, it is.
It was good.
That is good.
It was good.
What do you mean?
It's fine. I don't think that's good anymore.
For a center,
I mean, Cat's shooting 83.
Cat shoots threes.
Sure.
Cat is the shooting big.
Duren's the exception though.
That's what I'm saying. Like for the style that he is, for him to be a 75% free throw shooter and be this brute interior center, like that's very impressive.
It's fine. It's still not amongst the top tier centers in the league. But now you're making me feel like I'm talking down on him. That's not the case. It's just that's not his strength, I would say. It's not.
Of course it's not. I mean, I never said it was. I'm just saying he's a non-shooting big that is a good free throw shooter.
Although when he does take those between the legs, off the dribble, 10-foot, 15-foot jump shots, it gets me going a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, he's deep in his Duffy right now. Of those three guys, I think there's a lot of parallels here. All averaging between 19.5 and 20.1 points per game. So they're all right in the same scoring margin. Cat's averaging the most rebounds per game, but Duren's grabbing more offensive rebounds per game. Duren gets to the free throw line the most, but he is the worst free throw shooter of that bunch. Bam's far and away the best defender, right? We're not putting Jalen Duren in that conversation yet, even though we think he's a great defender at the rim at least, and he had that awesome possession on Luka on the perimeter. But Duren brings something that doesn't necessarily show up in the box score, and that's just the physical ability to wear a team down throughout the course of a game, and I think we're going to see that throughout the course of a playoff series, depending on who they play. I think there's just going to be a fear factor by the end of the playoff series of whoever's guarding him, and honestly, it's going to be a collection of guys, like anyone that roams in the paint, they're just going to have to get real comfortable fast with Jalen Duren, and I think that's pretty difficult knowing this guy's just going through you and going to the rim as often as he possibly can. And I think that's going to physically and mentally wear down an opponent by the end of it. The same way that, the Bad Boys used to do or the 04 Pistons used to do. It's a little different because they don't have a player specifically like Duren, like a dominant offensive center. Because I think that's like Ben Wallace, dominant physically on the defensive side of the ball. Duren is all of that on the offensive side. I think that's going to have an effect in the playoffs. And we're seeing it affect in the regular season too because, again, we gave so much credit for Cade, rightfully so, for the Pistons being the 1 seed. Maybe Duren slid under the radar even more so, he was an all-star, but I think he might have even not gotten enough credit for how great the Pistons were this year, and it took Cade getting hurt for us to be like, we knew Duren was good. Is he actually one of the great players in the league right now? And I think the answer actually might be yes.
I think he's going to make an All-NBA team.
I do too. Especially if the Pistons are going to lock up the 1 seed.
Yeah. I think he absolutely is going to be an All-NBA player, which we've talked about the implications of that from a, the front office and salary standpoint, whatever. Let's throw all that to the side. Let's appreciate this guy's having an All-NBA style season as a center in a league that no longer just gives 3 centers an All-NBA spot. Mm-hmm. It's not like when Andre Drummond snuck onto third-team All-NBA. Yeah, this is not that.
That didn't happen. Don't tell me that happened.
Drummond?
Right?
Drummond made an All-NBA team.
No, he did not.
I thought he did.
Keep talking. I'm checking.
Anyways, this means he's one of the 15 best players in the league this year. And, of course, the injuries and stuff play into all of this. But Duren has absolutely elevated his game with Cade out. And that's what makes this so special is because you've talked about this. With Cade out, you said, I don't think they're going to beat anybody in the playoffs. They're not even going to win against an 8 seed or anything like that.
I think I was just wrong.
Just like you were wrong about the Drummond thing.
I'm shocked that he was third-team All-NBA in 2016. That's insane to me.
But it was an era that the centers weren't very good in the NBA. And they had to give one to a center.
That's insane.
DeAndre Jordan was a first-team All-NBA player one year. That's unreal.
Yeah. Duren will, totally deserve to be on it, the way that he's playing. His ability to just, he's a force to be reckoned with down in the paint. It's been really fun to see. So the Pistons are 11-4 without Cade. The Knicks are 2-4 without Brunson, so Cat's not able to backpack them to victories. This one's really impressive for Bam. If anyone else even in consideration for this, for the third best center?
I mean, I think Embiid is, but if you're not counting him for the
yeah,
games played, then sure.
The
I don't
Heat-
really think anyone else is.
The Heat are
Sengun?
the Heat are
Strong guys.
27-20 without Hero and 12-9 without Norman Powell. That's a lot of credit to Bam Adebayo, who also scored 83 points. So maybe it is just Bam is the third best center and Duren is the fourth. But if you're asking who would you rather have going forward, I think the answer is obviously Jalen Duren of those guys because he's still 22 years old.
Yeah, and Cat is weak.
Yeah, Cat in a playoff series, we saw it last year. He's going to crumble. Although he had a great series against the Pistons, but like
He did.
that dude is
he
going
balled
to
out
crumble.
against the Pistons, but like, I don't know. No one likes Cat.
No. Not everyone's cup of tea. 989-837-6125. Let's take a trip around the league when we come back here on the Ben Bosscher Show.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, one more time. Congrats to Aaron. Aaron texted in, said, thank you. Enjoy the show. Love the takes you guys have. I mean, that makes one person out there.
April Fools. He hates our takes. That'd be good, Aaron. You should have done it.
Yeah, that's good, man. I hope you pull better cards than we did. I thought we pulled some pretty good cards. So if you end up pulling better stuff than we do,
Yeah, you owe us back. You have to send it back in.
I didn't know that there was a trip to the home run derby. Is that what they said? That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
somebody said that. Yeah. Interesting. You have a chance for it, obviously.
Little out of my element on the card stuff, but I'm sure Aaron or whoever else texted in, this is a little bit more up your
We're getting
alley, so-
educated, yeah.
Yeah, every day that goes by. All right, let's take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
So Monday, this was my plan, and I ended up just going off about Taylor Decker. Tuesday, this was my plan, and then we ended up just looking at the picture of all the coaches and making fun of them for 10, 15 minutes, which was honestly one of my favorite segments we've ever done. If you missed that, just find yesterday's YouTube stream and go back and watch it. It's about halfway through the show. That was hysterical. So the Around the League we had planned for Monday.
Now we're doing the GMs and we're making fun of them.
No. I can't recognize them all by face like that.
I can't either.
I know the NFC North ones, a couple other guys that it'd be a little bit too much. Brad Holmes also absent from that photo.
Right.
So the one that we had planned for Monday, we're finally doing. It is called, from NFL.com, 10 biggest questions after NFL free agency, but before the 2026 draft, which is 25 days away right now. Let's get right into it. Number one, can Kyler Murray be Minnesota's next Sam Darnold? I'll give the floor to you here because you've been pretty passionate about the Vikings signing Kyler Murray here.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that any sort of upgrade over what they had last year means they're a playoff team. That's just how I feel. They had disaster play at quarterback last year with 9,
And they
with
still
12.
went 9-8.
They still went 9-8, still didn't get last in the division. Still beat the Lions in both games. So at least just from a Lions perspective, maybe not for the division as a whole, but for the Lions, post Ben Johnson, Brian Flores just owns the Lions.
1 year, but yes, you're right.
But do you have any confidence that that's going to change? I don't.
No, he tormented the Lions on Christmas. That was embarrassing. And what was that? Week 9 they played.
Yeah, it was it was the first
J.J.
game where
McCarthy.
McCarthy looked good.
Yeah.
But obviously
Yeah.
the defense for the Vikings was great in that game.
We
So,
lost to Max Brosmer
I
on
just
Christmas
don't feel.
Day. That's
I don't feel
insane.
confident against Brian Flores ever. Maybe the one time I feel confident against the Vikings when they have terrible guys playing quarterback, and
They still beat the Lions.
you can feel however you feel about Kyler Murray. I certainly don't think he's an elite quarterback. Is he better than those guys? Duh.
Well, I think the most interesting part is he's making less
yeah,
than
he's
a
making
rookie would.
$1 million, $1.5 million or something.
Well, yeah, and Arizona's giving him $37 million.
Right, but on Minnesota's cap sheet, it's ridiculous.
And the best part for Minnesota is, let's say they win the division and it's best case scenario. They just rock. It's not like he's going to become all of a sudden one of the 5, 6, 7 highest paid quarterbacks in the league. You know what I mean? At most,
Right.
he'd get the Sam Darnold contract. At most. But he's not all of a sudden becoming that again after one season.
Exactly. And I just also think that we can look at the history and say that, yeah, Sam Darnold is obviously a much better quarterback than we all thought. Won a Super Bowl last year. But when going into that Minnesota season, no one thought Sam Darnold was going to do what he did.
No.
We all think
Kyler at least has some pedigree to him.
Exactly. So, like, I just think Minnesota's the team to look out for. That's all I got.
I think their offense is going to look a lot different. I still don't really think he can see over the middle of the field because of his size.
Fair.
So I think we're going to see a different version of the KOC offense. But to answer the question, can Kyler become Minnesota's next Sam Darnold? I think the answer is yes.
100% he could. I just like O'Connell, too. I trust O'Connell.
Question number 2. Do you want to spend any time on this? We can just skip it all together. Is Aaron Rodgers returning to Pittsburgh? I mean, he's either going to Pittsburgh or he's not playing football. And I have a feeling he's just going to do I don't know what I'm doing for a while here. The fact that Pittsburgh has not
returning
had a move,
to Pittsburgh.
That's what I was going to say. The fact that Pittsburgh has had no other course of action makes me think he is coming back to Pittsburgh. But if he just has lured them on the entire time that he's returning just to pull the rug out from under them, that wouldn't surprise me
That'd be
either.
funny.
This guy's a terrible dude.
But what's Pittsburgh's plan outside of Aaron Rodgers? They clearly don't have one, which
Will
hints that
Howard?
he's coming back.
Is Will Howard their backup?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Denthead might still be there, but it's just got to be Rodgers.
Question 3. What are the Eagles going to do with A.J. Brown? I'm just going to stand pat that I think he gets traded on draft day, the same way he did when he got traded to Philadelphia. Would that have been 2021? Something like that. I think some team gets desperate, and that team ends up being the Patriots. I think there's a draft day trade that goes down.
Okay.
Howie Roseman's smart. He's not going to trade him for any less than he actually wants. He's going to wait for a team to get desperate. Teams get desperate around draft time.
I will zag and say he doesn't get traded. I think he's going to be on the Eagles.
Question 4. What happens with Max Crosby? How is this even a question? He's just going to play for the Raiders this year. There's no way the Raiders are going to trade him for anything less than 2 first-round picks, since that's literally what they got for him. Why would you trade him for anything less than that? You'd be trading him for 90, 80 cents on the dollar. Just let him play. I mean, I think Las Vegas can be frisky this year, right? That division seems a little bit up in the air. I really like the Chargers going into the year. Denver should bounce back in a big way. But I think Vegas could be pretty frisky this year, and Mendoza's walking into a halfway decent situation. Keep him around. Go compete. I think he ends up in Vegas.
I'll still say I think it's the funniest situation ever if the Raiders end up being good. Like, the Ravens decline this trade for Max Crosby. He goes back to Las Vegas. If they end up being a good team because of all of this, it'd be pretty hilarious.
How much work do the Chiefs still have to do on defense?
I don't know. They traded away their all-pro corner.
Mm-hmm.
They have to nail the draft, right? That's like their whole plan for this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, they have 2 first-round picks to do it. Is Tua Tagovailoa going to revive his career in Atlanta?
Revive his career?
Yeah,
that
I'm
means
gonna
at
go
one
with
point
no.
it was like not dead.
I'm going to go with no. I think Atlanta's another disaster situation.
Revive feels like a tough word with Tua as well. I will also go with no. I have no idea who the real best quarterback is in that room. It's probably Penix.
Penix had some pretty awful games last year.
But Penix somehow is more injury prone than Tua is. So, I mean, Tua's is mainly just the concussions. There really isn't a lot of other injuries outside of that. So, Tua will play. The opportunity is going to be there at least.
Yeah.
Revive his career. What does that mean? If he gets Atlanta to the playoffs, is that reviving his career?
I would say so.
Is that getting him I guess the revival of Tua's career to me would mean whatever he does this season earns him extra years as a starting quarterback in the league, right?
I think that's a good way to phrase it.
He's a starter past this season.
I am mind blown that this team was not more interested in trying to get Kyler Murray in the building. And there was never even really any real buzz about it. It was just hey, we're bringing in Tua and Michael Penix will be healthy eventually. It's
I think he
seriously,
was
that
always,
was your plan? That was really your plan the whole time?
They like the lefty QBs. I think Kyler was always going to Minnesota.
Maybe that's true, but why was Atlanta why was there no spark about it?
Right.
Or any interest
It's a
from
good
them?
situation.
Why did they just want, was there ever any other course of action besides Tua? That's crazy to me. I think no, he does not revive his career. I don't think he's good.
One quick thing on Atlanta. Them signing Brian Robinson Jr. is messed up. They have 2 B. Robinsons in the backfield now.
Oh,
Just a nightmare. Nightmare for fantasy.
Managers. Some mother is
Old
going to
head
be very
fantasy
upset.
player is going to draft Brian Robinson instead of Bijan.
Didn't that happen last year with someone in the office? Am I crazy or did that happen? Right?
It did.
Okay.
It did.
Are the Chargers doing enough to make Justin Herbert's life easy. I mean, as long as they have doctors on site to help these guys rehab from injuries, I think they're going to be doing enough. Right?
Yeah.
Slater and Alt get them healthy, and this team should be bouncing back in a pretty big way. Mike McDaniel, yeah, I think the Chargers are my pick to kind of come do a slam dunk in the AFC. And
With the what-if man.
With the what-if man, yeah, Justin Herbert. You know, it's crazy that we have all these, like, quote-unquote excuses for him, yet
They're all kind of valid.
they're all very valid.
They're
yeah.
all solid excuses.
Does it suck that he doesn't have a playoff game if you're trying to defend him, a playoff win? Yeah, of course it does. But both of his tackles went down last year. I thought he had the best year of his career, considering that I thought he was going to die like once a quarter with the sacks he was taking, genuinely. He also led the league in rushing yards for quarterbacks. That wasn't on my bingo
yeah,
card.
That is interesting. I just remember seeing last year the graphic of like all of the quarterbacks that have won a playoff game, like won more playoff games than Justin Herbert.
A lot of them.
But like some of the names though are just like, ugh.
I think this is the year. All right, that's around the league.
Okay.
Presented by Aired Insurance. They understand not everyone's insurance needs are the exact same. They want to work personally with you to create something best suited for your needs. Whether it's life, home, auto, fiscal insurance, it's all available with the Aired Insurance Group with Farm Bureau Insurance. Here's what we got coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. We're going to circle back to the Tigers, and we're going to pray that last night was an April Fool's prank, that the bullpen's not actually that disastrous, because that was about as alarming as it gets. We'll flip the script and go back to Jalen Duren. Not only do I think he's a top 3 center, I reiterated that in the earlier this hour, but I also think like if the Pistons are going to go on a playoff run, whether or not Cade's healthy, it's probably going to come down to whether or not Jalen Duren can be a contributor in a big-time way. If he can kind of carry them through a series. I do think he is the key to a long playoff run. We'll hit the news. We'll do our mid-morning catch. All coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. Hey, winter in Michigan, it can be cold. Even this time of year, it's warmer, but it's not necessarily cold. Last thing you want is for your furnace to go out when it's freezing outside, and that's where Answer Heating and Cooling comes in. They get your furnace running efficiently so you can stay home and warm. You don't end up wearing 3 sweaters, mittens, a hat while you're watching the game. Fast, professional, reliable. That is Answer Heating and Cooling, keeping Midland homes cozy all winter long. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Go ahead, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube by searching Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. 11 o'clock hour on the way. Don't go anywhere.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky.
Trick Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, welcome back into the show, everybody. I sure wish last night was an April Fool's prank. Stayed up the entire Tigers game just to be incredibly disappointed. They have a 5-1 lead for the majority of the game. They go nuts in the third inning. At some point, it was 5 straight hits. They had 6 hits and 5 runs in that inning. Those were the only hits that they had the entire game. I don't even think it was the offense, though, that was the reason they lost the game. It was a combination of Drew Anderson, Will Vest, and the guy that they brought in to hopefully get to 500 career saves. He'd be the third player ever to do it, in Kenley Jansen. Those guys just absolutely stunk it up in the 8th, and they didn't even play it bottom of the 9th inning. Drew Anderson gets them into a jam. I'm not even pissed at that. I am a little bit more upset with Will Vest. They pay him, not a crazy amount of money, but there is an expectation that when they bring him into the game, he can get them out of a jam. He couldn't do that. Kenley Jansen, hey, can you close the door on this team before, we blow a lead? He tees up a cutter that just goes right down the middle and also doesn't cut. Hey, hit this. It was like batting practice. And the rookie for Arizona hit his second home run of the day. And just like that, the Tigers blew a 5-1 lead. It felt like in the blink of an eye. I hope that's just a prank from the bullpen for an April Fool's joke, because that can't be a thing again this season. They had an issue last year with it. They bring in Finnegan, and it's mostly fixed. Troy Melton gets moved to the pen, and you felt a lot better about the bullpen down the stretch of the season, even though they were blowing games because their offense couldn't score. But you felt good about Melton getting the bulk of the relief innings, and then Finnegan and Vest closing things. This year you get a 3-headed monster, theoretically, between Jansen and Will Vest and Kyle Finnegan, who we still haven't seen this year. You'd think that's good. The problem is Will Vest's career stats in the 8th inning are god-awful, and last night was no different. Last year, 2025, Will Vest in the 8th inning had an ERA of 4.76 compared to his 9th inning ERA of 1.55. I don't really understand that, the reason behind it. What I do know is it's a real thing. And last night was proof that, hey, this actually still is a real thing. So I can't imagine Will Vest's reaction when he found out Kenley Jansen was coming to town to take the bulk of the save opportunities early on in the season, I should say. Because I'm sitting here like, okay, this could be problematic if these two guys don't figure it out sooner rather than later. It was one game that they blew the lead, but it was one of those games that kind of haunts you in a way. Even though it's only March, it's just like, man, I hope that's not the norm this year. I hope that was just an April Fool's prank and not the reality of the situation, that this bullpen's not going to be able to close the door. Because, again, overreaction, it's the first bullpen blown lead of the season, but 5-1 lead? Come on, man. That's bad stuff.
Right. Especially when it's coming off of what has happened the last 2 games. You go scoreless to close the series against San Diego. Okay, whatever. And then you get down 8-0 against Arizona, make a miniature comeback, have a chance to come back and win. You don't. It felt like, okay, phew, like the offense came to play early against Arizona. Casey Mize, great outing, like boom, late night, I can go to bed, Tigers win. And then you wake up and they lose, you're just like, what? So it adds to your list of concerns for Detroit. Where is this at right now? I mean, obviously, like you said, we have to continue to reiterate this. Like, everything is an overreaction. We're not concerned that the Tigers are going to be bad.
How long do we say that for, though? Like, at what point is it not really an overreaction?
Probably like
halfway
2
through
more
April?
series.
Okay.
Yeah, like you get through like 4 series of baseball, then you can start to actually be like, okay. Like you get these next 2 home series, then I think you can go from there.
Okay.
But where does the bullpen for you rank on your list of concerns currently for the Tigers? Because like you said, I mean, we saw Vest and Jansen last night. You have this 3-headed monster of guys that you don't really know who's going to be like the go-to 9th inning guy, and that's probably a good thing.
I think it's Jansen, though, early on. I don't think
probably
Jansen would have come here if he didn't have the opportunity to get the 500th save.
Yeah,
of his
Chris
career.
said that last week on the show, and I agree with him. I think that makes a lot of sense.
It was a great point.
It is. And Finnegan hasn't been put in a situation yet. Like, he pitched that – he barely pitched in the game against the Diamondbacks on Monday, came in for like 1 out. Like, he hasn't been put in a situation yet to be like a real get a save, basically.
Yeah.
And he was – awesome for the Tigers last year. So where does that rank in your list of concerns?
The bullpen I would have as, I mean, based on last year, I guess based on last year, considering that too, the offense down the stretch was just so bad. I would say towards the top, like probably number one for right now. Because as much as, like, yeah, they had a scoreless game. You don't love to see that. But the blown lead, maybe I'm just pissed off and it's a little recency bias and pissed off that I stayed up that late.
It was late at night. Yeah.
I was like, there's no way I stayed up just to watch it. I don't know. I'd probably have the bullpen at the top right now. Vest and Jansen both were awful. Vest was a mess. He couldn't throw strikes, and when he was getting lit up. And Jansen was just like, hey, Diamondbacks, right down the middle of the plate. Like, what? How does this guy have almost 500 career saves if that's what he's going to be doing? I mean, I jokingly said this earlier, but like this guy's going to play his way out of the Hall of Fame if that's the norm. This is one of the few closing guys that could end up being in the Hall of Fame, chasing number 500, save number 500. That didn't look like a guy who has 477 career saves last night. It didn't take long for him to just completely blow it. He didn't get them into that situation, but he certainly didn't get them out of it.
And just poor Casey Mize, man. He's the one that's probably hoping that this is an April Fool's prank.
He was
awesome, great start for Mize, man.
Night.
Awesome, and I mean, we had the conversation. Think about what we were talking about a week ago. Like, is Casey Mize going to be the guy that out all of nowhere in August we're like, wait a second, Casey Mize isn't even part of the rotation anymore?
Yeah, Troy Melton's back, baby.
And by the way, Jackson Jobe, it sounds like he's going to pitch for the Tigers this year.
Yeah.
Like, that was just kind of thrown out during this first week of Tigers baseball, which I didn't really expect.
I mean, through 5 games, Casey Mize, relative to expectations, had the best outing of the 5 pitchers. Scooble probably had the best outing in general, but I think Casey, relative to the expectation.
Sure. I mean, he's the number 5 guy at the end of the day. Like, you're right.
I mean, he pitched like he had the second best performance, just straight up. I would say behind Scooble.
The 9 Ks, yeah. I mean, like that's what 10 Ks is his career high, I believe. Like
10 Ks is a career high. He had 15 swing and miss. That's pretty good, man. That's really good. And that was what we were always worried about with Casey Mize, whether or not that splitter was actually going to get people to swing and miss. Full effect last night.
It was awesome last night. Yeah, totally. I was worried through the first inning because the first inning of play, the first 2 batters swing at the first pitch and just crush each ball.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was a deep fly ball to right from Ketel Marte and then a line drive out to Spencer Torkelson. I was just like, oh, no.
And how many times we know one thing about Casey Mize, and at least this was the case last year. Maybe it won't be this year. Like, you know right away in the first inning if he has it or doesn't have it.
Yeah, but that's right. We did talk about that a lot. It's the opposite of Jack Flaherty because every single Jack Flaherty outing is, he's gonna rock for 4 innings. He's gonna get through the lineup twice and like look great. And by the time that third time it comes around, the lineup, get him out of the game. Casey Mize is the opposite. It's just like, you know instantly. And that's why I was a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
And then it's something switched. And maybe it was the offense like picking things up and getting him that run support.
Yeah, you don't have to pitch as worried when you have a 5-run lead. You can kind of just let loose a little bit and throw your stuff.
Like these guys, they've been doing this for a long time, of course. Like nothing's new. It's opening day happens every year. The first start of the year happens every season. But it really is important. And there's a lot of pressure on these starters to have a first outing of the year go well. Like to get off on the right foot. It really does mean a lot for that ERA to look good after one game. That K to walk ratio to look good after one game. Like that stuff really does matter just to get off into the right direction. We saw it with Justin Verlander the other night.
Yikes.
His is not going off in the right direction, and now he's going to have to try to work it back. And now it's like the start 2 better go well or else. Whereas Casey Mize has that outing, and it relieves a lot of, like it feels good for Casey Mize to do that. It doesn't feel good, of course, for the Tigers to lose the game.
I proposed the question right before the season started. What are the odds Casey Mize ends up out of the rotation by the end of the year? How about this? What are the odds Casey Mize ends the season as the 3rd pitcher on the team?
Those are higher than out of the rotation currently, right?
Lower odds?
Sure, yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
We had a Verlander needs to go to the bullpen YouTube chat earlier.
No, we're not doing that quite yet. Talk to me by the All-Star break. If he's still terrible.
Also, it's like who's the 5th starter then right now? We can't do that. Come on.
Until Mellon is healthy or Jobe is healthy, like that's not even a conversation to be had. And I guess if Verlander is more the same as to what he was in his first start, I don't expect that to be the case. Then maybe we can have that conversation towards the All-Star break. But until Melton's healthy or until Jobe is healthy, I don't even think that's
remember what we said
conversation
yesterday.
To be had.
Men in Black.
Oh yeah, the Flash. What? Justin
that didn't
Verlander
happen.
start?
Yeah, what
Justin Verlander's first game.
Verlander's debuting for the Tigers on Easter.
Yes.
It's going to be awesome, and we all love Justin Verlander.
That is good. We need that. Let's just forget what happened in San Diego. No, that was Arizona, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Arizona, whatever. Weird stadium, goofy outfield. That outfield is weird out in left field, man. That is a pinball machine out there.
It is. I mean, it's like a park designed for an inside the park home run to happen in. Corbin Carroll had one, I believe, last year.
I think you're right. This is a play that will be forgotten by the time the season's done, so I'm bringing it up now so maybe we won't forget it. The play that Riley Green had of the ball that bounced off the wall that he caught off the bounce running back towards the diamond, that was an incredibly impressive play. It ended in a double. It's not like he threw anybody out, but that totally should have been a triple if there's not a really, like, smart outfielder out there. We talk about Riley Green being, hey, more often than not, 99% of the time, makes the play out there. The problem is he just makes it look way more difficult than it actually is. That was a really nice play he made out there. You know what play I'm talking about? Where it bounces off the wall and he's running back towards the diamond and, like, Willie Mays catches it over the shoulder.
Really, it happened early, yeah.
It was weird, though, because Willie Mays caught it, but he was running back towards the diamond. I've never seen that before, and he made sure it was only a double. I thought that was a really nice heads-up play from Riley Green. So I just wanted to get that on the record, based on that weird, wonky stadium out in Arizona. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Jalen Duren, is he the key to a Pistons run in the playoffs? 11 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Yiter Insurance. Life happens fast, and at Yiter Insurance, they make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yiter is the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people you can actually talk to. That's Yiter Insurance Group. We'll be there when you need us since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Okay, you know what? Actually, I was gonna read something. I'm logging off online. I was gonna read a headline.
Oh, did you get got?
I don't know. It was something about
Read
Jade.
it. It's April Fool's. Read it.
No, it was something about Jade and Ivy, and I don't even want to go
Don't
down
read
that.
it.
But I already exited out. I can't see it.
Good.
Okay. Jalen Duren. We went over this earlier. I think he, at the very least, has an argument for one of the three best centers in the NBA, Jokic, Wemby being the top two. And then I think it's an argument between him, Kat, and Bam Adebayo, who scored 83 points. I don't know if anybody saw that. One of those three guys has to be the third best center. Nonetheless, wherever you want to rank him, whether that's third, fourth, or fifth, I'm kind of under the impression that if the Pistons are going to go on a deep playoff run, he's kind of going to be the key that fuels it. As much as we love Cade Cunningham, want him to come back, is the star player and the engine of this team, I look at a matchup like with the Celtics, who are just petrifying in every way. They shoot a ton of threes. They're going to shoot so many more threes than the Pistons that just from a pure math standpoint, it's going to be really hard to keep up with them. But their Achilles heel is they don't have a dominant center. They have capable centers. They don't have a dominant one. They don't have a crazy rim protector. I think the key in that series would truly be Jalen Duren just takes over. And like we were alluding to earlier, maybe it's not a Cade Cunningham show with Jalen Duren here as well as the Batman. It's more of like a Superman and Batman thing of, hey, these guys are equivalents of each other, and Duren just ends up having a hell of a series and is the best player. I kind of think for the Pistons to win multiple playoff series, Duren is just going to have to be the best player, second best player behind Cade in some of these series and be the swing factor, not so Cade Cunningham. Because what we know is Cade is going to draw double teams and all that stuff, so it's going to be up to somebody else to make sure that they can punish the other team for sending double teams to Cade Cunningham. That is, if Cade Cunningham's actually playing.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this, like, just based off of last year's playoff series. The amount of pressure that was on Cade, like, for him to go 7 games, like,
Right.
or the 6 games against the Knicks last year was just, it clearly took a toll on him.
Yeah.
And
It was him. It was Cade and him. That's what it was.
that was one playoff series. Like, we expect the Pistons to at least play in 2 playoff series this year, hopefully 3 and maybe even 4. Like, so for that to happen, and now you add in the fact that Cade is going to be recovering from a collapsed lung, by the way, which just clearly makes things way worse. There has to be games where Duren, you say he's for sure the second best player. No, there has to be games where he's the best player on the floor.
I agree.
There has to be games where he wins games for the Pistons, where he has a 30 and 12, where he
Right.
wins the game for Detroit. Like, that has to happen.
Games for sure. I'm talking like there might even need to be a series where he's just the best
Dominates
player.
it.
The Celtics specifically, like they have so many guys to throw at Cade and they're going to shoot so
Right.
many threes. That means the Pistons have to completely own the paint, and Duren has to just kick ass for however many games that series ends up being.
Yeah, even if you end up getting the Cleveland second-round matchup. Like, remember when the whole thing with the Cavs, which it looks like it is going to be probably Cleveland in the second round right now anyways.
Yeah. Assuming they don't blow it, which
The Cavs have these double bigs, like, Mobley, Allen. You would think that they're like this physically imposing team. They're
not.
They're not at all. They get killed on the glass in the playoffs. That's been like the reason that they've gone out the last couple of years. And so, like,
and they get a lot of blocks and they're good help defenders,
Yeah.
but they're not like the physical, like I'm going to wear you down type of center that Jalen Duren is.
Exactly.
Which, again, I think you could feel by game 5 or 6 in a series.
that has to be a series where, like, Jalen Duren really imposes himself. And, like, we know, I mean, Duren's never going to have, like, a stinker. He's not the kind, that's not his style of play.
That's a great point.
He's always going to have his 16 and 12 in a playoff series when he's not in foul trouble.
And
Like,
it's not like he's
always.
going to be super inefficient from the
Yeah,
field.
he might have a couple extra turnovers in some games when he's bringing the ball up the floor. Like, yeah, that could happen. But there's never going to be a game where, like, Duren lost him the game.
No,
Whereas,
that's a great point.
Whereas there's going to be the games where Duren wins him the game.
And there's going to be the games where Cade loses him the game. Hey, Cade didn't have this night, so they didn't have a chance.
Of course. And that's just that's the tax that's on Cade. Like, that's what comes with being the superstar player.
Right. But, now Duren has taken clearly just an enormous leap forward from even who he was last season, where we thought he was really good. I don't think any of us, I mean, we've had this conversation a couple times throughout the year. Nobody expected this. What
No.
we've gotten from
To be
Duren
an All
this
NBA
year,
player?
yeah, that was off the
They
table.
didn't even extend him last year in the rookie extensions, and none of us had a problem with it.
I didn't think he was the second best player on the team going into this year. I still thought that was going to be Asar Thompson.
Yeah.
Was I wrong about that. And I'm glad to be wrong. I still think Asar's like best defensive player in the league.
Yeah, he just clearly hasn't taken like the step of being a star player.
And I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Probably not. I think he's just like, but he's an awesome guy to have. No doubt about that.
And, in the back of my head, do I question whether him and Duren can play next to each other
sure.
long term? Of course.
Let's
but,
think about
like,
that later.
Yeah, that's after they lose in the playoffs conversation. If they lose in the playoffs, I guess I should phrase that. Duren's clearly so much better than he was last year that I do think there's less on Cade Cunningham, so where he doesn't have to have 35 and 12 dimes for them to even have a chance of winning. Cade can give you hey, I shot 45% from the field today. I scored 24, had 10 assists. It wasn't my best game. But Duren's the guy who went out and won this for our team because our team shot 68% from the paint today. Like that's what we can have with Jalen Duren in the playoffs. I really think he is the key to actually going on a run in the playoff series, not so Cade Cunningham.
Well, because, I mean, it makes a lot of sense because we've always talked about these teams that the Pistons are going to be matched up against. What does every team do more than the Pistons? They shoot more threes and they make more threes. But just the fact that they take more, like that's an issue in a playoff series.
It's hard to make it up.
It's a math game. It's that simple. So what do the Pistons have to do? They have to just get the best twos. They have to be efficient with their twos. They have to get extra possessions with offensive rebounds, and they have to not give up extra possessions. Because that's how you lose to the Celtics, by the way.
Yes.
They take a ton of threes, but if they get multiple chances in the same possession to shoot more threes, you're never, ever beating them.
Yeah, the math just it doesn't add up.
Exactly. And so they have to win on the glass in every single playoff series. And, of course, that's the first guy you're going to think of is Duren.
We're in an analytics boom with basketball over the last few years. We had that with baseball, like 10 years ago, basically, where they just introduced a trillion new stats at us, and that's still happening. But the real
Baseball's
renaissance,
kind of always been an analytic-based sport anyways, yeah.
But there was a real renaissance with it, it felt like 10 years ago, when they were introducing all of this new, the
batting average doesn't matter, exactly.
StatCast era,
Right.
however far that back, a little more than 10 years,
Right.
but it really started to, be like a main talking
oh my God,
point
he
in
hit
the
that
last
ball
10
1,000
years.
miles per hour, yeah.
Right. Basketball's in the middle of that. It's becoming a math game more than anything else. The Pistons are a team that could simplify it and say, hey, on paper, you guys do this, opponents do that, whatever. We're going to insert our dominance over a team and physically wear you down, which is going to mentally exhaust you, and we are going to own you in your head. That is the thing that Jalen Duren can provide for the Pistons. Just a mental toughness over their opponents to where they feel worn down. They don't want to go in the paint with this guy, and we can throw the math sheets off the table because this is basketball and it's won with physical dominant players. That's the way it's always been.
Yeah.
That's the way the Pistons have always won basketball games too. And I think Jalen Duren's kind of the key for that.
And the best part about Duren is we're hyping him up this much. Can he be the best player in a playoff series? The dude is younger than Yaxel Lendeberg. And that's on no April Fools.
Of course, we find a way to throw you find a way to throw Yaxel under the bus. I think that's more of a crazy nod at Duren than it is a diss at Yaxel, though.
But it's both, though.
Okay. It is like truly mind-blowing. You look at him when some of those pictures he has where he's not flexing for the camera, but he just is flexed. You're like, oh my God, this guy is like a Greek god. He's chiseled. I think he's top 5 scariest guy to fight in the NBA right now.
Glazing, dude.
Am I wrong though?
No, I mean, I don't want to fight him. Who would want to fight that guy?
No, nobody. And he's 22. What's this guy going to look like? The Dwight Howard offensive comparison is not all that off. It really isn't.
The best Duren video is the play where Jordan Poole. This was a couple years ago when Jordan Poole tries to get involved, tries to push I think Cade or somebody on the Pistons, and Duren just turns around and looks at him. All he does is look at him. Maybe he takes one step towards him, and Poole just
Poole instantly regrets everything that just led up to that.
Get me
moment.
out of there.
Yeah, that's an incredible moment. I'm glad we're in alignment with this, though. I was excited to bring this to you. Hey, I was going to zagging away yes, Cade's our best player, obviously, but Duren's kind of the key to going on a playoff run here. And you're kind of in lockstep with me on this one.
I mean, it makes sense, though, just based off of what happened last year. It's too much to ask Cade to, win them a playoff series. Or win them multiple playoff series. Or, even, okay, you win one, now you have to go play another one right after. It's too much.
Well, the matchup dependent, too. The thing, too. Celtics, scariest team, obviously. Where's their Achilles heel? They don't have a dominant center. Cleveland, you mentioned that. Like, they've got the double bigs, but are either of those guys willing to, like, bang with Jalen Duren for 7 games?
I mean,
No.
let's stretch it out even to the team that they lost to last year, the Knicks. Like, in the playoff series against the Knicks, Duren has to be a much more elevated version of himself than he was last year because Cat killed the Knicks.
Yeah, he will. Well, he won't guard.
That's
Cat.
not what I'm saying, though. Can you, like, they had a dominant big in that series because they had Brunson who went off and they had their big that went off.
Mm-hmm.
And they won in the series. What did the Pistons have? They had Cade who, like, kind of struggled. I mean, of course, because he was the only guy that they asked him to do anything. Now, can they match that? Can they have their guard go off and have their big? Like, can you take that next step? I think that Duren is obviously the reason for that.
He's the favorite to win Most Improved Player by the year. You got that did you bet that before the season or right when the season started?
It was like 2 weeks into the season.
Remind us what you got it at?
Plus 2,000.
Oh, man. Is that going to be one of your biggest hits ever?
Is he the favorite?
Yes, he is. Not heavy, but he is the favorite to win Most Improved Player. Is that
Yeah, that'll be one of my best futures ever for sure, especially for a solo.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a straight, no
parlay? Well, congrats on that. I'm glad you saw that early.
Don't congrats me yet. That award is weird. You never know.
True. I guess I just won't say anything. I don't want to jinx
One
you.
more Cade YouTube chat here coming from Nick. Injury and eligibility aside, if Duren is the key to going on a deep playoff run and Cade isn't, then Cade can't be a potential MVP candidate. So he's saying, like, it has to be Cade.
For this year or going forward?
I don't know.
I mean, my money would be on Cade never does win an MVP, right? Like,
yeah, I mean,
that's just
Luka Doncic might never win an MVP.
Yeah,
it's tough to do.
It's really tough to do, especially for a guard. Even
and
though we're probably
Wemby's
going to have back
in
to
this
back.
NBA now.
Yeah, like that's whatever. If,
in a
if
league
they win
with
a championship,
Wemby and
I don't care.
Jokic, yeah, like it's tough.
We got a text that said, "Is Cade truly the engine at this point? I feel like without an engine, you can't go anywhere, and the Pistons continue to win without him. Not saying he's not the best player on the team by any means." That's actually a really good point. Like
engine-based Pistons question. I like it, by the way.
Clever,
funny.
I'm like genuinely shocked as to how good they've been without Cade Cunningham this year. Not just since he's had the collapsed lung, but just the entire course of the season. 11-4 without him. I mean, good God, man. You and I were worried about them potentially blowing the 1 seed the day we found out he had the collapsed lung.
I think more so you, but sure.
Sure.
We'll take responsibility.
I'll put my hand up there. Like, yeah, that was a thought that crossed my mind. And the Pistons have not missed a beat since then. They've just been cruising through their schedule.
Yeah, but let's hold our horses on saying Cade might not be the engine behind this team just because he hasn't been playing. Like, let's remember how good Cade Cunningham was playing before he went out. Like, let's not forget about that.
Sure, I think it's more so a credit to the rest, like the depth of this team, though.
Sure.
This is shocking.
It's once again props to Danis Jenkins.
Yes.
When that guy gets put into a role where he is playing 30 minutes a night, it's pretty unreal what that guy can do based off of being a two-way player at the start of the season.
A buzzer beater 10.5 yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Now, when he's playing 12 minutes a night, it's a little bit more difficult for him to, like, get what he really wants to do. But
it's chaotic.
In the games where Cade is out or he's starting at the 2, like, that guy is an awesome player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Duncan's been great as of late.
Yeah,
Sir
Duncan was
the
drilling threes last night.
Kevin Huerter, welcome to the rotation. That guy will be playing in the playoffs. Kevin! 989-837-6125. Great use of that. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. News and our 2 traditions to close out every show when we come back. Hey, I'll be honest, I don't really know anything about technology. That's why I trust Link Technology in Midland. They handle all the complicated stuff like IT support, cybersecurity, cloud services, networking, so you don't have to stress about it. Whatever your business needs, their team knows exactly what to do. And they make it as easy on you to understand along the way. That's Link Technology, the experts who keep your business running smoothly so you can focus on running your business.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back in. 989-837-6125. It's the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live, and here's Kyle Sandel with the real news, none of it fake.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
Oh, yeah, for sure. None of it's fake, by the way, guys.
Don't do that. No. I hate April Fool's Day. I really do.
I told you. It's why it's so bad, because you just never really know what's true and what's not.
You just convinced John his fly was down.
I can't really wink, by the way, either. I'm really bad at that.
I can only wink with one eye.
Oh, okay. Anyways, let's talk about the news. Hey, I mentioned earlier that...
yeah, no, for sure.
I mentioned earlier that MSU Arkansas is going to be at LCA this year. Tom Izzo also announcing, I think he's just trying to take all the spotlight away from Michigan, who's in the Final Four. He's just focusing on next year. But sure, we can go over this. He also announced that they are going to play Gonzaga next year in the regular season, and that's going to be in California. Didn't really say like where that's going to be at, but it's going to be some sort of neutral site game in Cali, MSU Gonzaga. So right now, MSU's non-conference schedule, of course, every year, it's always a big deal. Tom Izzo loves to get all these huge, big-time teams on the schedule. You've got Duke in the Champions Classic game. You've got Arkansas at LCA. You've got Gonzaga in California, and then they're also exhibitioning with UConn again next year. So that's what the non-con looks like for the Spartans currently.
Gearing it up. I wonder if Michigan will take the same approach, because they didn't. I mean, I guess they did do that with. They played Gonzaga this year.
Well, they
so
played
it's not
in
like,
that tournament. They played in the Players era. Like that was.
and then they just murdered everybody.
Yeah, but like that tournament was huge. Like
Yeah,
that was.
you're
There was a
right.
lot of really good teams in it.
You're right.
They did play Gonzaga, yeah, early in the year. I kind of forgot about that.
Just
yeah, good point.
demolished them.
Okay, yesterday, Shohei Ohtani made his pitching debut. He goes 6 scoreless innings in his first start of the season. Dodgers just once again looked like this awesome team because Ohtani doesn't have to pitch for the first time until, you know, the number 5 starter in the rotation, and goes 6 scoreless. So shout out to Shohei.
Yeah, I think we have gotten to the point where we just take them for granted because you hear Dodgers and it's like, oh, they're ruining baseball. Yeah, they also have like the greatest player I think in the history of the game playing for them at the time, and he continues to do stuff like that. That's just, I mean, that really is amazing. So
Yeah, it is. Okay, we mentioned this earlier, but might as well talk about it again. Tarek Skubal bump day today, 340. If you have ESPN Unlimited, by the way, it's on that. Okay, I don't know if anyone has
it's on
that.
what?
The unlimited ESPN thing.
Oh yeah, I don't think anybody
Whatever
has
that subscription is. But it's also, of course, on Detroit Sportsnet. Tigers D-backs, 3:40 p.m. It's Tarek Skubal versus Zach Gallen. Tigers trying to avoid the sweep. And like we said, it's fun that you don't get to watch Tarek Skubal late night. You get to watch him at a decent time.
Thank God, man. Thank God we're done with that.
3:40, by the way, I know it's probably not ideal for most people. Like, such an ideal first pitch time.
No.
Pretty awesome.
No. The best is the 6:10 starts. That nothing beats the 6:10 starts.
I mean,
Well,
I still-
honestly, 7
I'd
o'clock
say
is fine, too.
7 is just, like, pretty ideal, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. 7 o'clock.
But 3:40, like, I like if we're going to do a daytime start, I'd rather have it at 3:40 than at 1.
I'd agree with you there.
That's
Yep.
just me, though. Okay, rolling on in the news. We mentioned this in Around the League. Let's do it again. Steelers owner Art Rooney says he expects the decision from Aaron Rodgers to come before the draft. So maybe this means if he does decide to retire, then the Steelers can draft their quarterback? I don't know.
I'm just so done with
Yeah,
Rodgers stuff.
it's pretty terrible. Have you been keeping up with the World Cup at all?
Can't say I've been keeping up with the World Cup. No.
It's coming up, though. And Italy will not be a part of it. They're going to miss out on their 3rd straight World Cup. They lost in a shootout yesterday to Bosnia. So that's mainly the big story going on in the World Cup right now.
Is that a big deal? Is
I think
Italy
it's
supposed to
third,
be good?
Third time in a row that they haven't made it. Like,
Is that supposed to be a good soccer country, though? Like, I have no idea. I'm not a soccer person. I don't
I'm not
pretend
at
to be. Last time the World Cup happened, that was really fun. I like thoroughly enjoyed watching soccer for whatever, 2
yeah,
weeks,
the World
3
Cup
weeks.
is fun to watch.
I'm excited for that, especially with it being in North America and the games being played in America. That'll be really fun, even if the U.S. fizzles out. I thought it was really fun when it was like Messi and Mbappe, and you get to know all these characters. I like Mbappe. I like Neymar. I think I just like saying
Yeah,
Mbappe.
I think you're just saying names of guys you know.
Yeah,
Just
that's
let me
that's
say everyone
exactly
I
what
know,
I'm
the
doing.
4 names that I know. I mean,
No, I bet you I can name a couple more. So
I only know those 4.
Ronaldo, Messi, Mbappe, Neymar.
Yeah, that's the 4 I can get.
What about Pulisic?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Christian
I
Pulisic.
would have gotten him.
And that's probably the 5 I know.
Yeah, that's all I know. What about the dude that was on Liverpool this year, Alexander or something? Everybody was always high on him. Okay, let's stop talking about this. Yesterday, the Lakers and of course everyone wrapped up their March. The Lakers went 15-2, and Luka scored 600 points in the month of March, which is just an unreal number to score in a month. He had another huge game last night, 42-12 for LA. Like I said, they went 15-2. Do we think that the Lakers are like real, actual contenders? I mean, the Western Conference having OKC and the Spurs, and then you have Denver, of course, who you still, of course, have to take seriously.
I think the Lakers can beat
Minnesota, too.
anybody in a playoff series and can also lose to anybody in a playoff series.
Oh,
Their
great
nightmare
answer.
situation is running, like, I think Minnesota, as we saw last year, nightmare situation for them. They don't have a single guy to guard Ant. They don't want to run into teams that play fast and furious. I don't think they have a guy to guard Stephon Castle. I don't think they have a guy to guard Wemby. Like, that's a problem to me. But
No one does.
Exactly, no one does. I don't think they can beat the Thunder, to be honest. But I do think the Lakers are legit in terms of they can beat pretty much anybody else in the West. Can they win the finals? Probably not.
Yeah, you're probably right. Which sucks because I want LeBron to get another ring.
LeBron's, the way that conversation would happen on ESPN, it's like, he won another ring. Yeah, he's the second best player.
but Luka-
Jordan never won the second. Jordan was never second best player.
Austin Reeves, though, is better. Yeah, that would be so bad.
If Luka won the finals, Luka carried him. It just somehow discredit LeBron for winning another ring. Yeah, sure. Let's do that, ESPN. Let's do that.
That will happen, yes. Let's close the news with this because I thought this was pretty funny. We had the coaches meeting yesterday. Of course, you saw Dan Campbell, everything. He talked about linking up with Aaron Glenn. They chatted for a while. Aaron Glenn says that his new quarterback, Geno Smith, will lead the Jets to the promised land.
Oh, man. That's
Whatever that means.
That's is the promised land.
And that's it for the
7 and
news.
10. Is that the promised land?
I mean, that would be pretty good for them.
That's just kind of an insane statement, but sure. Yeah, cook Aaron Glenn. I'm rooting for you. 989.
Wait, I got one more thing in the news.
Go.
April Fools.
All right, 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, and we're live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Before we get to our 2 traditions to close every show, I do want to tell you guys one more thing, and that is today for the Tigers game, it is okay if you just crack one open, and nothing pairs better with game day than a nice, cold Yuengling. Whether you're locking in for kickoff, tip-off, or the final inning, Yuengling has that crisp, smooth taste that never misses, and the kinds that your team, when they're firing it on all cylinders, just tastes a little bit better. That is Yuengling, proud sponsors and partners of the show.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. We've got 3 traditions to close out every show. The first of which is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
March didn't go very well. I do have no regrets about yesterday's pick. We're trying to get ourselves back into going positive on March, so we went for a big swing, a Torkelson big swing. We went for a home run. That didn't happen because the Tigers, they're just not really doing that through 5 games. Only 1 home run, and that was from Dylan Dingler. Nobody else has gone yard yet, so hopefully that can change here today during the day.
So you're saying that they're due to hit a home run?
Yeah, but I'm not going to bet on that again.
They definitely are due to hit a home run, though, yes.
It'd be nice if they,
right.
Just could do that a little bit more often.
It would be nice. Little update here for the people. Like Ben said, March did not go well. 5.19 units down in the month of March. Pretty tough. 4.13 units down overall in 2026, so it's definitely it's been a rough couple of 3 weeks here. You've been positive most of the entire year so far up until this point, and you've built a little bit of a hole for yourself. Chance to redeem yourself, though, here in April.
Feeling good about April. April in the D.
Right.
Easter's this month. Yeah, the weather's warming up. I feel like
Michigan Final Four this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to be able to bounce back. Tonight, I'm going to the association. This MVP race has been so fun. It's not a hot take, but the general consensus is this is like the best 4-man MVP race we've really ever had between Jokic, or one of them, Jokic, Wemby, Shea, and Luka. Just those 4 guys. Go through NBA history and try to find a group of 4 players that are just as good as that 4. It's going to be tough. There's some years you can point to, but there's not a lot of years with how well all of these guys are playing. All deserving of the MVP. You know who really wants it is Victor Wembanyama. He's playing for it every single night. I'm taking his first quarter over in points today, over 5.5. So he's got to score 6 points. I think he comes out hot. He's gunning after that MVP. The reason I'm just not taking his points in general is because the Spurs are 13.5-point favorites tonight against the Steph Curry-less Warriors. That to me screams that this is going to be a blowout by the end of it. So I think he comes out hot, wants to put up his stats. Not that he's a stat patter by any means. I just think he's going to go out and try to dominate and insert his will on this Warriors team that lacks a big man. I mean, Draymond can guard him all he wants. That's not happening. We all know that clip that happened earlier this year where Draymond tried to guard him and Wemby just dunked right on top of him and yelled right in his face. So I do think Victor just wants to go just dominate the Warriors tonight. I'm taking his first quarter over at 6 points for -138. Thoughts?
I mean, I'll tail this. It's really low odds, man. This would have been nice to.
I have to start April out with.
I get it. Like I that's why I'm tailing it because I like the pick. 6 points in the first quarter for Wemby. Like, come on, that's pretty obvious, especially with what, like you said, all the other MVP top tier guys have been doing lately. He's just trying to. He probably cares about winning the award more than any of those guys do. So
yeah, and if it feels like all of those MVP, like Luka, not as much Jokic, but he's still having these crazy games. Jokic, Wemby, Luka, and Shea, it's just like game after game after game, they're just like trying to outdo each other. And I think for him to win MVP, he ultimately has to be the 1 seed, unfortunately. I would give it to him regardless. But yeah, I think the Spurs come out guns a-blazing tonight and just kind of the Warriors are going to feel their fire a little bit. So that is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
I mean, you got to go back to the association, right? We had a nice game last night between what was it? It was the Yankees and the Mariners. That was our game of the day. We could go back to that with Schlitter on the mound for the Yankees and Kirby on the mound for the Mariners. That's another good matchup. Yeah, we also have Yamamoto in action tonight at 8:20 against Gavin Williams of the Guardians. Like, that should be a really fun matchup too. You peek at what's going on.
I mean, it's Tarek Skubal bump day.
It's also Tarek Skubal bump day. That's right. You look at what's going on in the association. Is there any big-time matchups? Heat Celtics, maybe if that was a couple years ago, it'd be right up there. Nothing crazy going on, so I think it kind of just has to be a baseball game. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Game of the day.
Skeens is on the mound, too.
Ooh.
And
Skiing.
that's kind of a must-see in terms of, like, well, how's he going to bounce back from that? It's also at 12:40.
He's got to bounce back. I mean, that was O'Neal Cruz has to bounce back.
And it's also against Cincinnati, so Ellie De La Cruz is always a fun guy in there as well. I'll go with the Dodgers game tonight. Yamamoto on the mound against Gavin Williams and the Guardians. That'll be my game of the day. Any pushback? Am I like totally missing the 8 ball on this?
It's Scooble Bump Day, man. Like I know that we try to keep the game of the day not biased to our local teams, but like it's Scooble Bump Day
Against Zach Allen too. Yeah, you know what?
Zach Allen, the ace of the Diamondbacks.
You know what? You're right. You've convinced me. Tarek Skubal, Tigers going up against the Diamondbacks. That's our game of the day.
Game of the day.
Oh, that was me, April Fool's pranking you.
I got 2 words for you. Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Must-see TV.
Right, pretty good prank.
I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. The pranks today. I don't really. Okay. Do you want to guess Collins Open? Yeah. I don't know how to pivot from this anymore.
Yes, let's guess Collins Open.
Either of us score a point yesterday? I have no idea.
No, he led with Jaden Ivey yesterday. Like,
that's right.
A bit of a shock. Did not see that one coming. So that puts the score remaining what it was yesterday, 48-47. But instead, it's my turn to go first. I have no idea where to go.
No, this is a tough one.
No idea. I think I just go with Luka in the Lakers. Like, Luka had a huge game last night. I was kind of thinking, like, I could see a Tiger Woods rant. I could see, like, a whole Tiger Woods monologue here. But I will, and I kind of just gave you what you could pick. But I'm going to go with Luka and the Lakers. That's going to be my choice.
I don't think it's all that crazy for him to go back to Jaden Ivey.
Right? I mean, he did get waived after this. I guess he got waived prior to that. You're right. Yeah.
I don't think it's crazy. The thing I was saying earlier, and I'm seeing this from multiple people now, so maybe it's not an April Fool's prank, is that he retortedly told the Bulls head of player performance in March that his knee was healed, and then they took an MRI of his knee the next day, and they were like, dude, we're shutting you down for the year. Your knee's not healthy. So I don't know. I'll go with you went with the Lakers.
Ohtani pitched last night. I'm just throwing stuff out.
Sure, man. I'll take that. I'll steal that. I'll go with Ohtani and the Dodgers. Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks for that. Now, if I steal a point, I feel like I stole it from you. Okay. Appreciate everybody. Have some good old fun April Fool's pranks out there. Follow us on Instagram, 100.9 The Mitt, Facebook.